will you repeat that, please, Simon? Or will you repeat that, Fabio?
I said that he's not wanking to Jesus. He's making sweet love to Jesus.
And that's how we open. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream,
I
everybody. Welcome to the stream.
I just hope that it's not the baby Jesus he's making love to. But yeah.
You couldn't have just left it with the funny thing. You had to take it
I
to the
couldn't.
dark side.
I mean...
You had to take it to the dark side.
He did say that God is very loving. So
Thank you, everybody.
And you're not the boss of me, so fuck you.
Oh, you think that?
I know that.
Yes, you do. That's twice. Would you like spanked a third time? There you are. So yes, thanks everybody for coming back to the after party of, I don't know what that was. I think that was UC
wanking it.
Yeah.
Samos. Philosophical masturbation.
Philosophical masturbation. Yes, I think Marty describes it very well as that, isn't it? Philosophical.
With a glove, except this time with a glove.
Is it someone send Marty the link and just poke him? You know.
Done.
Yeah. Poke him.
Sure, that's done.
It's 1 hour. We'll never get back.
It's 2. I debated the fucker, and he's debated him before. It's probably about 5 hours we're never going to get back in total between us.
Well, it's more than that, because there was a half an hour me and Fabio were talking beforehand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that was okay. So there is a funny behind the scene thing. Simon's reached out to me, before this. I mean, I'm struggling to call it a debate.
We'll call it a debacle.
I mean, this discussion.
This discussion, yeah. So, and because you want to run to me, the argument that eventually you put on the banner and stuff like that. So the thing is that we spent most of our time trying to dumb it down, right? Because we said, well, I mean, you can't really say that. You got to say that other thing too, because you got to keep it simple. You got to dumb it down. And we failed. We totally failed because we couldn't make it simpler and dumber, and still it flew so high over his head. I don't think he even see the shadow of it. It was just.
I mean, Fabio, you can't really expect to dumb down something to a flat earther. They're already stupid.
Man, we tried. We tried hard, like seriously hard.
Oh no, I believe you, bro. I see it. I see it in the effort. It's just you're talking to a flat earther. You might as well be trying to teach a dog arithmetic.
My dog can tell the difference between left and right.
Mm-hmm. Then he's even smarter than the flat earther.
Name is Philip. I know he wants to go by UC, so either UC or Philip, I think, would probably be.
UC. Yeah.
Emma says, you done very well, Simos.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you, Emma. Really. And also thank you to Iron Charity and hello, Spooky, of course. And yes, I would give Fabio a reach around any time he came within reach.
Well, technically, you two aren't friends because you haven't met yet. So
yes, technically, yeah.
Special friends when you do meet.
Maybe.
No.
I'd say more like. I'd say we're not friends. We're more like F1 lovers.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, right? Well, not that you are F1 lovers, right? But Fabio is always mouthing about the fact that nobody is a true friend. Oh, by the way, I do agree with you. That nobody is a true friend unless you can reach out and shake their hand. Physically have to meet them at least once. Emma in the chat is a lady I've been talking to. I'd love to meet your friends. And I was like, so would I. I've only met one.
Yeah.
They're all over the fucking world. So would you consider, how would you describe your relationship with Simos, Fabio? And then we'll go into our description and what we thought of the debate.
Well, I mean, he's an internet friend, which is a special category of friendship. It's not friend.
We've got we've got, what do you call them? A Venn diagram now. So it's internet people, friends, and Simos is in that special hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We have kind of tried to meet up once. Unfortunately, I didn't make it.
I mean, so he's the kind of person that I wouldn't have no problems meeting him in real life, and having a beer or stuff like that, because I think it might be okay. So it gets as much.
Well, I know Fabio. I'm sure Simos knows, and Fabio has explained this to me before. That has a little room over there, a wee bit of space. What do you think, man? Last week of August, I'm off on holidays. Will we book a flight to Italy and go over and see Fabio?
I'd love to. I tell you, I'd absolutely love to. There may be a few issues with me getting out of the out of that place, out of my house. But
out of your house? I thought you were talking about out of Italy.
Well, no, getting into Italy. I tell you, we're getting into Italy. I mean, I don't want to cause a stampede, but I've been out with a fair number of Italian girls in my time.
Only Spooky and Ginger caught on to me saying Simos.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mind saying I'm a bit of an asshole. That's okay. What was the name of the film?
Well, the only other option, I get 2 weeks holidays, and I threatened to come over and see Wildheart for 4 days, and he was like,
oh, yeah. you can come over and see me, dude. No worries.
Just come over and shout out.
No, you need to come. You need to come over here to see me, so that way you can suffer in the fucking heat like I do.
Yeah, you're in Las Vegas. I think I'm gonna go over and see Simos.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
It's a bit cheaper.
But
come down London way. I wouldn't say it's cheaper, but yeah.
You can come see the crackheads. That's the biggest draw of Las Vegas, is all the fucking crackheads. I promise, it's not because of gamblers.
Okay. Yeah.
Not into crackheads?
No.
I mean, I kind of look like one right now.
I mean, to be honest, what's the Ali G joke? Why do you guys have such a bad drug problem? And the Northern Irish guy goes, what do you mean we don't? Because yeah, you're always up for the crack.
Yeah. Get in. I wore this. I found this t-shirt in the bottom of the drawer, and I'm wearing it for Wildheart. Wildheart's probably not even watching. But I don't know if anyone watches Wildheart's channel, but he shouts "Get in" an awful lot. So, as well as demonstrate God. Demonstrate God! Doritos are real. Shout out to Wildheart.
No, you can't. It's a brute fact.
What? I don't even know what how do you...
With an explanation, yeah.
I don't even know how what you said is a response to what I said. Have I smoked that much?
Well, no, you said you want a reason for God, an explanation for God, and say you can't because it's a brute fact.
Oh, yes, now I get the joke. Sorry,
yeah.
you're... I shaved my head earlier.
It
flew over the top.
I'm the one drinking beer here, so...
Here, I'm on the wine. I'm on the wine from about half an hour into that debate. I just stopped listening, switched off.
Sorry, hold on a second. You're on the wine with a coffee cup?
Right, yeah, there's a reason for this, because I drink my diluted...
I don't want to hear it.
No, the reason I do it is because
just say it's a brute fact, and that's it.
It's a brute fact that I am drinking wine out of a coffee cup that I have broke the handle off as well because I didn't like the handle. The reason being, every single time I'm on stream, no matter what I'm drinking, whether it be water, milk, dilutant, or alcohol, I always use the same cup. So then nobody knows whether I'm drinking or not. Till I go, here, I've been drinking since half an hour into that.
I mean, why the fuck do you care if people knows what you're drinking?
Just makes it easier. I feel cautious. I feel more nervous.
You're such an insecure boy. You should find Jesus.
I need Jesus. I need Jesus.
Which is a brute fact, by the way.
Which is a brute fact, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it all relates. Emma says she's coming to London in February for a Harry Potter tour. There, so if you wanted to meet up with Emma, then come over.
Emma's coming to spend a couple of days in the house next week. I get the 12th and 13th off.
There you go. In that case, say hello. Send her over to mine in February.
Send her over to yours. Now I'll be going over with her. I'll go with.
Yeah, that would be great to have you both. It would be a wonderful. Yeah.
I'll bring you. I was gonna say I'll bring you a magic wand, not my magic wand.
As long as your magic one's got some seeds in it, I'll be quite happy.
That's man. I found another 12. Right? You see that box that I showed? Right? Nobody knows what we're talking about. Totally in code and all that, right?
Yeah,
But,
yeah, of course.
Do you remember that box I showed you the other day? That box is one that I gave to a friend because they were doing that. But I kept all the best for myself. And I found
Excellent.
that box in like a fucking cupboard way in the back somewhere. I was cleaning out the other day and I was like, what's in it? What the fuck is? Like another 10 of even better stuff.
Nice. Okay, well, that's all good. That's all good.
I'm testing 2 at the minute, but it's not looking good. So they may be.
Okay. Okay, good,
So,
good.
Brojo wants to know, was there a debate?
I think it was replying to Jay, which asked how did the debate go.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Brojo,
I mean,
Brojo was
not
there for the debate. Brojo knew about it beforehand and all. I think
He
he's
did.
being facetious, sarcastic, as in Simos just.
No, I did say that I was determined not to kick a man in the balls when he's down, so I didn't.
Raw wants to point out that all he heard throughout the whole thing that Simos is God. Do you know what I'm going to do now as well? I'm going to add.
Clip that little bit, you bastard.
I usually do keep the person's name for. Hold on, we're going to do this. I usually do keep the person's name for their channel link, so it would be exclamation mark Simos, and that'll post your link. But now every time someone does that, I'm going to get the bot to come back. Earth.
Can I make a suggestion to you, MathPig? If you're planning to make clips out of the conversation, you should preface them with the clip from the movie Airplane, where the guy says, "I choose the wrong day, to take cocaine or to drink stuff like that," and then you play the clip.
I usually like.
It is good. Huh?
Did you watch the one that I know probably Simos did? I don't know if Ginger or Fabio. Watch the one I did. Not the Simos one. The other one that I did the other
Wild
day.
Heart one.
Wild Heart one. Against
Yes.
Jill.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
What did you think of that? I thought that I was literally 2.5 minutes behind in the video. Do you know when he says in it, I'm waiting on MathPig? I didn't get that till like 2 minutes later because I'm 2 minutes behind recording. Literally on my phone, right? I've got the settings on the phone going screen record, set it for HD. I'm 2 minutes behind, and when he says something, I rewind. Says something, go back 10 seconds, hit record. I just recorded like load of files and then just put them on the phone.
No. It was good. I think that it was super funny if you watch the original thing. It was a little bit too abstract. Like, I mean, for me, I just watched it, but I have no idea what happened, why they were discussing stuff like that.
You're the only person that
to
give a
me-
shit that for context. Everybody else just wanted giggles. Look at the comments. You're the only one wanted context.
I mean,
Well, no,
I was
it's not a
laughing
problem
for
with context. It's the problem that it was too much. I couldn't really understand what the fuck was going on. That's the thing of it. So, but if you watch the whole thing, maybe it was more.
22 minutes, I think, in total of recordings, and I cut it down to like 6 and then 8 minutes.
So, if I remember correctly, Jill made the claim that Knock is racist, and then that started the whole conversation, and then from that video,
like lots and lots of fucking statements made by Jill. Knock did a stream and reviewed the entire stream, and I think it went for 6 hours. Yeah, if you just want to see the best bits, watch my 9 minutes rather than Knock's 6 hours or some shit stream.
God damn, 6 hours fucking long.
Yeah, that's something. MathPig, I'm just going to send you the shortened link, you know what I mean, on Discord for my personal channel.
Oh yeah. I'll put all of them in the description tomorrow.
One.
Just fucking
okay.
really trying to do a wee bit of promotion on the channel. This was fun tonight. The open panels are fun. Maudie put it very, very well to Wildheart the other day. For the 23-minute marker, I think it is, if anyone wants to watch. doesn't matter or there's no point or some shit like that. But enjoy in real life. Enjoy the people around you. Find a goal. Find a hobby. Find something that makes you happy in real life. And when you do this shit, give it 100%. Take it for what it is and fucking laugh at it. You know, it's, as you say, man, philosophical masturbation. You know, give it the recommended attention that it deserves. Like, this would be probably 20% of my sort of fun. You know, it's what I do and relative nature and stuff. You know, it's give it what it's worth. Enjoy it. Have a bit of fun.
No, I did prepare for it. You know, I spoke to Fabio for half an hour just before it started.
We got that from your opening statement.
Yeah. So there is that. And yeah, no, I mean, you know, it's obviously urinated Christian. So I mean, ultimate
with a D.
Yeah. Ultimate UFC. Is that what he's calling himself now?
UC.
Oh, UC. Right.
It was
UUC.
Ultimate. No, UCC.
Christians.
Ultimate Created Christian. When you talk on Saturday.
Oh, that was
it's
it.
Ultimated Christian. Ultimated.
No, it's just UC. Okay. Ultimate Fighter. I mean Christian. Yeah.
Like the whole point of this is to have a bit of fun, hang around with internet friends.
Yeah.
Dyer says. So, like, at the end of the day, I don't think. Can I make? This question was asked, Simos, right? If you were given genuine, proper evidence and all the rest of it, blah, blah,
yeah,
would you change your mind? You said, basically, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd phrase it a different way right now, right? Just because it's off air, etc.
Oh, well, it's not off air; it's after party.
I would really like it, right? If if there was an afterlife and Christianity was true, I think it would be amazing. Well, I mean, first I'd convert to Christianity, then I would think it's amazing. But apart from that.
Well, not just Christianity in general. You know, take deism, take pantheism, take all of that sort of universal quantum mythicism.
No, none of that. None of that. Only if there's an afterlife. I'm not interested.
That's what I'm asking, right? Regardless of who the God is, that's what I was getting to. Because I would be of the opinion that it would be nice if there was an afterlife where I could go and have a fucking pint with my uncle that committed suicide recently. Because that would be nice to go and have some. You know, these things would be enjoyable.
Yeah.
I would be of the opinion, regardless of who the God is, if an afterlife existed, that would be a cool thing. I would, not to say that I would want that, but it would be better than what I genuinely believe.
Oh no, I'd like it. I'd really like it. As I say, if it was, I mean, first I'd have to convert to the religion that guaranteed it, but having done that, no problem. You know what I mean? It'd be cool. Who wouldn't, kind of thing, I guess. Certainly beats getting burnt the shit out of for eternity, doesn't it?
Now, we've confirmed that you definitely we've confirmed that you definitely would prefer an afterlife to no afterlife. Would that be a true statement?
No. That's not a true statement.
It depends.
I'm not going to define an afterlife by the Christian God where your brain probably went. That's why I the question before.
No, I wouldn't. If I didn't know what God it was, and there was
you get the okay. I'm going to make it really easy.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, we're going to make it really easy. You can define your own heaven and hang about with people and all the rest of it. We're not going to get into philosophy. We're going to say heaven, afterlife, exactly what makes you happy, and that comes with a little bit of suffering. And lots of weed and some guitars.
Yeah, a lot of weed, a lot of guitars, a lot of women.
You have to wake up with hangovers.
More of the same. Basically, more of the same. That's what. Only
you actually live up to your description of God.
I'd probably, like Ali G, I'd probably want a couple more inches just to boast. You know what I mean?
So that So if that existed, we can confirm from that you would prefer that to what we actually believe will happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Everybody would. Yeah.
Everybody would. Now,
I think.
Then it follows up with the question, right? As you say, you're open if someone came to you and proved that this heaven would exist, this version
Yes.
of afterlife would exist, if someone gave you proof of that, you would be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I'm converting. That's where I want to go.
Mhm.
What?
Well,
and d-
that would be that would be I mean, I don't know if I would convert. It would surely be a good reason. I would try my best. Yeah.
I don't know why you would convert to a heaven where Simos is hung like a donkey, but that's your own place, man.
My question is,
That's
what
why.
would-
That's
what
why he
would-
doesn't want to meet me in real life. What can I say?
Right, but the point I'm going for, is, and don't fucking follow it up with what I would refer to as a meme answer, right? Is, do you know what that evidence would be? Are you capable of describing to me that evidence, or are you going to follow it up with the meme evidence and say, God would know what it would take to convince me? Marty, get your ass in here.
So that's an interesting angle. We had that kind of conversation. I think a couple of days ago. It was me, Simons, and Jay. On an offline thing.
Clown J after Simos' stream.
Jay
Passing,
Pace.
yeah.
Jay passing.
Oh,
So
the clown. Yeah,
the thing
clown.
is that I mean, I agree with you that it is not a bad answer. The one to say. I mean, God should know what kind of proof. But it is not bad. The thing is that what is really a good answer, and the reason why I don't think we can answer that question is that you need a reason which is good for you, and so a reason which is good for you doesn't necessarily imply that it's even a good reason. It must be
testimony.
convincing. That's the thing, So
Find a personal testimony.
Yeah.
I fight
So
that fucking corner all the time.
So I
Special
actually have a
revelation. Special revelation would probably do
Yeah.
it for me as well.
I have a question. This is a hypothetical, but like, let's say somebody,
Is it on topic?
yeah, no, this would be a question. Would this be enough proof? Like, let's say somebody that we all know literally died and came back. There was proof that they were dead, and they're like, there is a heaven. Like, would you take that as proof?
No, I
Mhm.
take.
I personally
If
would,
they can prove,
given the
if they
given
can
the
prove
scene.
that they died, right? Like medical fucking evidence.
Well, if I was at the
everything.
cunt's, if I was at the cunt's funeral and all the rest of it, with that particular thing, with bringing people back from the dead, on that I'd say some medical, I would poke at it. I wouldn't.
I know it's a shitty answer, but really, I think that correct answer is it depends. Let's say, for example, that it happens to me, right? And then I go back to Chris and tell him, yeah, I mean, there is a heaven. I will do that just to fuck with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
using
you
you
can't
and
really-
Chris as an example, I was gonna say that you go back to Chris and your answer was gonna be shout at him for dancing on my grave, you motherfucker.
All right, so but MathPig, let me ask you this: let's say that you had actually died and then came back, right?
Mhm.
And you saw an afterlife. Would that change anything for you? Legitimately, would that change any of your life aspects?
Oh, so you're talking about? Did you look in the chat and see Antangelo? We're talking about near-death experiences
No, I didn't
here.
see that shit actually.
No, we're talking about
actually...
right. So you're talking about near-death experiences.
No. You actually fucking died but came back.
I would.
Like,
Well, if I experienced it, then I've been in heaven, and I can't. I wouldn't be skeptical about it because that's basically just my own personal revelation. But if I then went and told you my personal revelation, or Fabio, or Simos, or Marty, maybe not Marty because he'd pick it apart too much. I'm dead. Are you alive? I don't know. But the other two fuckers would just come at me and go, no, medical science. Let's think about it. It's a again, you're making it a personal experience. I think when it comes to religion, when it comes to God, everything boils down to personal testimony. What have you experienced? What has that person been through?
It's what I said before. It has to be convincing for you.
so
I mean, I can guarantee you, when I was 16, if two nymphomaniacs came to me and said, we are God's gift to you, I would have converted in a split second.
A horny devil.
Right? Yeah, but it depends. What is valid for me is not valid for everybody, or for you, for MathPig. Nothing is valid
Well,
for
okay,
Christopher, but
let's just say this then.
Right.
Look,
you talk.
Part of the presupposition was that somebody actually defeated death and came back to life, having died 100%, no questions asked, no, short period of line and then resuscitated. We're talking dead, done, and out of here, and then came back to life. Then they also made some testimony as to what they saw during this period when they were dead, done, and out. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that shows at least that our ideas of mortality are wrong. Right?
So,
now, the only place... hang on. The only place that claims that the ideas of mortality are wrong, okay, that I know of anyway, are various religious books. And more importantly, the main religious books of the Western culture, of course, is that of the Bible, which has at least 2 or 3 resurrections in it. So I think that's some good evidence. So I think that's some good evidence to believe that there might be more than truth. There might be truth in that particular book. So I would have to seriously consider that, or seriously search for some kind of personal attestation or personal experience of this particular extra power in nature that has currently been found and is outside any scientific explanation.
Ask this one, Marty. Was on stream the other day. How would you describe yourself? Agnostic, but live my life atheistic towards the Christian. What would you describe yourself as? Say Fabio, go on. And don't say Sith Lord.
What? I mean, I don't know what you mean. From a religious point of view,
right, well, a description of myself would be, I'm agnostic, but I live my life atheistic.
No. I'm sorry. I mean...
You're not even going to let me... You ask me a question, you're just going to interrupt me. All right, Sith Lord, go on ahead.
No, I just asked a clarifying question. You want me to answer from a religious point of view?
Well, I say religious as in you can either be religious or not religious. Would it be better to say, I don't know, theistic point of view? Would that be a better descriptive word or better question?
No, the reason I asked you, and again, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're a pedantic cunt. No, I understand this. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's me, but somebody asked me, how would you define, the religious part would be, that's not something which is on my
that's
radar.
why
you know what I mean?
That's why.
I mean, my first answer to you would be I'm a motorcyclist. So there are things in life,
Oh no, I get you now. Yeah. Over here in Europe,
a family man, or I don't know.
Yeah, my first.
So that's why I asked you.
Well, yeah, I would be a father first.
Yeah.
Right.
Silas, I actually asked the both of you guys this question in the wrap up of the debate, but I wanted to kind of pick on it a little bit more. So without a personal testimony, what would, in your opinion, be an actual proof that God exists? So, no, I'm not just talking the Christian God. I'm talking about any God. What would that involve for you to believe that they exist? For example, I come in and was just oh yeah, all this exists, and here's my proof. What would you need?
Sure. Okay, I think the way I answered it in the actual debate is the way I would stick to it, right? Which is, if someone could give me a sound deductive argument, then I would be convinced by that, or they could give me empirical evidence, which I found to be very convincing. Then that would also give me or personal revelation. I think is also a reason to believe.
And this goes
not necessarily a good reason, but it's a good reason for me to believe it. It's not a good reason for other people. Empirical evidence would be a good reason for other people to believe it. So, or as I say, deductively, if they could give me something that is a sound argument, I don't know how they would ever prove that, but if they could give a sound argument for which had the conclusion God exists, then obviously I would believe that as well.
But what do you mean by a sound argument? What do you mean
syllogism.
by that?
Philosophical.
Okay, so yeah, syllogism by which both premises are true and the inference rules lead to the conclusion necessarily that God exists.
Okay. And that goes for everybody. I was just curious on what your guys' proof would be.
I think we need to hear from Mounty on the same point, please. don't see why he gets to get away without answering.
Just
that
sits
one.
in the corner looking all low. He's beside the tree of life. Every time I see that beside Marty, I always think the tree of life, you know. And the way the ring lights are hitting your glasses right now, it looks like you've got 4 eyeballs.
I just want to say,
Could you move your head down slightly.
Simus, during your debate, I didn't get to see the
No,
debate yet.
Tip
I
it
haven't
forward.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, very close. Very close.
There we go.
Did you?
Okay,
Did
someone
you-
screenshot that. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to say, did you demonstrate evidence for your particulars? Sufficient
off.
for. No, did you? You were talking to the guy, right?
Yeah. No, I whipped my cock out and said.
Oh,
"Have a
Jeff's
go at
talked
that,
to him.
Jesus."
Jeff's talked to him too.
Did he give you the particulars, or is he on a new thing?
I think he's on a new thing. He's basically saying he's giving a kind of a half-daft argument in some respects. He's saying, if you say the word God, then you think it exists.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's,
So one of
that's
those, like-
basically what I got
No,
from
he
him.
said something super interesting. He said that in order for you to deny the existence of something, you presuppose that that thing exists.
That's a
And we
better
got
one.
to the conclusion that that applies not only to God, to everything. So, hello square circles, hello value of square root of 2. Yes.
Married
What's the
bachelors.
square root of this room?
Yep.
Yeah.
All these squares.
Whoa. Mind blown.
So how long did your? I'm sorry I missed it. I really am sorry.
That's
No,
okay.
I
No,
know
no,
I'm-
I
You
don't think you
shouldn't.
will be if you go
You
back
really
and watch
shouldn't be
it.
sorry, by the way.
You're not going to lose that hour. We still haven't heard from Marty, right? But it was an hour and 10 minutes.
I haven't forgotten.
It was
I
an
haven't
hour and
forgotten.
10 minutes.
All right. I can shut up. I'll let Mowdy talk.
Marty!
You guys want to
No,
hear
you
Mowdy?
can't. You can't shut up, can you, Spatchcock? You just can't shut the fuck up.
Marty, do you need me to react to the
Spatchcock,
question for you?
Spatchcock translates to constantly talking. Yeah.
I thought it was a different way of saying mansplaining. Anyway.
Oh, damn. Oh.
Marty, you want me to throw the question back at you just for a refresher, or did you still have it?
Proof of God.
Yeah, like what would your proof be? Like do you need somebody to like show you the face of God, or like what exactly in your definition is proof?
Ours.
Darsh.
First, a definition. What are you defining this God as? Is it something that you can provide material? Does it interact with the material world such that I can see material evidence, in which case empirical evidence would be my preferred route? Is it personal revelation, in which case that's just psychology, right? That's just perspective. It is a filter through which they see everything. And, if it's personal revelation, then I can take their word for it, but it would be restricted that God exists for them. They haven't provided any external objective evidence that the God that they believe exists actually exists. And to a certain extent, it doesn't matter so long as the rest of their model of the world facilitates them, stopping at red lights and knowing when they get correct change and, like all that basic shit. Humans can believe really crazy let me rephrase that. Humans can have really crazy beliefs and still navigate the world well.
Sorry,
fair.
what did you say that would convince you?
Yeah.
What would convince me? Personal revelation would
Yeah.
be the main thing.
Okay.
Personal revelation, I think, would
Wait
be
a-
the most compelling form of evidence.
But would it
Really?
would personal
no.
revelation? No,
No,
but would it though?
no.
Because personal revelation, you might be a little bit more. If it was personal revelation, you might be a little bit skeptical about that because you could be wrong about it, right? Like it was being presented to you, so it's sort of limited to your subjective experience as personal revelation.
So here's
Would-
what I'm thinking. I'm with you, Jefferson.
Just
Here's what I'm
if
thinking.
I can interrupt, Untangelo popped into the background. I was like, "Ma'am, we're full. If someone leaves, I'll let you in." He just left.
I can leave. You
No!
guys wanna
No.
I'd even have Ginger over fucking
Stay there.
Untangelo tonight. Sorry, sorry, Ginger.
Wow.
Stay there.
Fuck you.
That's
I mean-
Okay, I need to just reaffirm this and really mash down on the point here that surely both a deductive argument which you know to be sound and is shown demonstrably sound, which has the conclusion God exists, and or empirical evidence that you could show other people that God exists. Both of those are better kinds of reasons to believe than personal revelation.
That's what I'm thinking.
But-
Yes.
But I think we're mixing the question.
So there's two different things, right? If you're asking me, and I also make a special pleading argument and admit to it for the special revelations thing, because I think special revelation would be personally and psychologically way more satisfying in a way that I would be identifying with that belief. And once you start having a belief that you identify with, like I identify as a father, as
Okay.
a bass player, right? Like once, and losing those identities would be crushing. So I think that the personal revelation component is, it's not surface. I think it cuts deep. So for me, it's different, right? But again, like I said, depending on how you define your God, if you define your God such that it interacts with the material world, show me empirical evidence. If it's just a personal revelation thing, have it to yourself. For me to believe in God, if I was touched by the hand of God such that from that point forward, that was the filter through which I saw shit, that's what it would take.
You believe God is an English. If you believe
you're
God,
saying sufficient,
you believe God is an Englishman with lots of girth called Samos, then God exists. That's all.
See, because the reason I asked that question wasn't just to like, well,
Girth Vader.
the reason I asked the question to both was to see if what was his name? UC, I don't remember the full.
Philip.
If UC would be fair enough to be like, yeah, if somebody brought proof that God didn't exist, I would believe that, and I was clearly fucking right that he wouldn't admit it. That's why I was more impressed with Simus when he's like, yeah, if somebody brought proof that God existed, I'd fucking concede to that point. Because I've been asking that question to a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, and I agree with Christopher. As much as it hurts me, that personal revelation is the only thing which is valid in this issue. We are talking about what would convince you, not what would you need to convince you and other people. So empirical evidence, I think, would fall in the second category, right? But that should be sufficient to convince even other people. Now, what you need to convince you is personal revelation. I don't see anything else, right? And again, I repeat what I said at the beginning. You need something which convinces you, which is convincing to you. It doesn't even have to be a good reason. I will go on and say it doesn't even have to be a reason that you're able to explain to other people.
Yeah, but no, I've got to reassert what I was saying then, right? Because again, that's the same thing which I do not understand. There are things about the real world, right, which I wish weren't true, but are empirically demonstrated to be true. Okay? And I have to believe them, even though I wish not to believe them. Right? But I have to believe them because they're empirically demonstrated. Now, if God could fall into that category, that would be better than just me wishing they were true and feeling that I had some internal justification for believing that they're true, because I can't distinguish very well between those two things.
That's why psychology is better than philosophy.
And also, I mean, it would be better, but it wouldn't be necessary.
No, I agree. It's not necessary. Yeah, agree. And that's why that was the point I was making to Christopher. Surely, he said the best would be internal revelation, and I'm saying, well, is that the best? Internal revelation or personal revelation, is that the best? Because you could never show anybody else. Everybody could think you're a madman and put you away. Psychologists would rightly call you a madman and put you away half the time. So what does that mean?
That's me giving up on every other version of evidence, though.
Right.
Like
having given up on, that's what I'm saying, though. But
I'm getting off the train of evidence early, and I admit to that.
Sure. Okay,
right? I'm getting off on it early because once we start getting into evidence of like crowds, I have an explanation for that, right? Once we start talking about like illusions or miracles, I have explanations for that, and they're the same explanations as the personal revelation. The only difference is if I can explain everything with the same explanation, then it really just, like Fabio said, comes down to Go ahead.
Yeah, and can I add one more thing for the four of you guys? It rarely happens, but if there is something that both me and Chris agree on, and we are both in the same room, you guys have no fucking chance. You're done. Change the subject because you are fucking done.
No, Chris, I'm sorry, Fabio, you are wrong. Okay, the
Oh, wow.
reason you're wrong is because Christopher just
It's a brute
agreed
fact.
with me that
It's
he
a
was
brute fact,
getting-
yeah.
he was
Fuck
getting
you.
off the evidence train early. But yet part of the question was, if you had the entire tray of evidence, right, what would you do?
No.
That was the question, not
The
that there
question-
is no such thing as evidence, this type of
That-
evidence or that
that
type of
wasn't-
evidence.
That wasn't the question, and we have the person in the room. He can repeat
Right.
the question. The
Please
question
repeat the
was,
question.
what
he
would
kinda
convince you that God
but-
exists?
But
Yeah, yeah.
but Fabio, he was kind of right. That's kind of what
Correct.
I was implying with with my question was just like, what all would be needed as like what would you consider proof that God existed, like any God existed? Like you guys are now saying that like personal testimony, but my
Yeah.
question is like even if like let's say 10 people have the exact same testimony saying they saw the exact same thing word for fucking word, right? They've
Yeah.
never met anybody. Like you can prove they've never met each other in their fucking life. But they've
Right.
all seen the same thing. Is that are you still gonna question that, or are you just gonna go with it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's my
Yeah,
issue
sure.
there is because,
Well, I'm going to question
like,
it.
for me,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right,
question.
like,
I
that's
mean,
my thing, is I would question.
sorry, I would question that, the same way I question people which says they've been abducted by UFOs. Of course, I would question that.
No, I put in caveats specifically to say, look,
We are on the roll,
if it
Chris.
was
We are on the
demonst-
roll.
If I can
if it
just
was demon-
It's
Hang on. I put a caveat on it to say if it was demonstrable that there was a sound argument which had the necessary conclusion God exists, I would have to believe it. Why? Because it's a sound argument, and that's the very definition of being unreasonable is not to believe a sound argument which is demonstrable. Okay.
So with
So
that
I
sound
don't
argument-
see any way around that, and you can say, oh yeah, but you could just be crazy. Right?
You're
But that's-
assuming
but
that
you could
people
just be
behave.
crazy.
You're
Go ahead.
assuming that people always behave in a reasonable way.
No, I'm
And
assuming
that
that
is
I would
mental.
behave in a reasonable
Yes,
way.
that is mental.
I'm
It
actually
never happens. It doesn't happen.
I disagree.
my exposure
You're
to
still
Fabio
so
and Mauri
comfortable
at
with
the
it.
same time is a little bit limited, but to see the two of them agree so much in one setting is a little bit discombobulating.
Yes.
So-
No,
I
I'm
guess
doing
my-
God's work here. I can
I
do
guess
that.
my
I'll give you both of
follow-up
them.
So I guess
all a
my
ruse to
follow-up
get me and
question to
Fabio
you
to
guys.
agree.
I guess my follow-up question to you guys is like, if somebody like, can they use the Bible for that argument, Simus? Like, if they can, like, or like, would you not? If somebody starts using the Bible like as part of their argument, are you just gonna dismiss it? Like, I'm not taking
I
up
did.
for. Okay,
I mean,
like,
UC
what I
did
mean
use
is
the
just,
Bible
like,
as part of his art, or tried to. And
A
then
lot.
I dismissed it
A
straight away.
lot.
No, like for example, for example, right? Let's say somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh, I started reading my Bible, and then all of a sudden God showed Himself to me." Like, like that's what I mean. Like,
Right.
if they're giving like word for word personal fucking testimony, and they start out with like, "I was reading the Bible when blank happened," like, can you take that for face value, or are you just gonna be like, "Yeah, this is bullshit"? Because like, the reason I'm asking this is, a lot like. I've been doing my own little research while I've been off of YouTube, and like I've been asking a bunch of different people from a bunch of different religions this question, and each one of them are like, well, if there's this proof that this God is real and my God isn't, then I'll take that side. So I wanted to ask people that don't or atheists or agnostic the same question.
I get you. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like if I was reading, I don't know, Hustler, and Gemma Jameson.
You're
walked
giving
in when I
away
was
your
reading
age,
it,
Samos. You're giving away your
obviously, I
age.
would convert to Jenna Jameson. Obviously.
As one should.
Yes.
But I think there's
That's
more
what-
chance of that happening than the Bible, me reading the Bible and Jesus walks in.
Indeed.
Go
Perfect.
ahead, MathPig. You can speak now.
There's a link in the private chat. StreamYard's link ends in 65. If everybody could click it, because we're limited here with 6 and with a few people hanging in the background. Mute when you join. and until everybody swaps over. And if we can just click it, it'll swap over, close this one. I can bring more people in then. It's just I don't pay for it. Someone give me access to theirs, so yep, perfect.
Okay.
We're gonna wait and everybody over there. See how easy it is? Just click it. There we go. We're up. Oh, loads. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Hello.
Over here.
Everybody's just flipping everybody off. It's just.
Why not?
Hey, there we go. Everybody should be working now. That's it. The screen will go weird and then it'll freak out.
Am I coming through?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody should be fine.
Testing.
I showed up and it was just nothing but middle fingers from Simon's fucking Maddie. I want them canceled and I want them sued.
Hashtag cancel MathPig.
Nothing of the sort. And like it.
In fact,
So-
since it's just gone past the 4th of July. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's better.
Right
That's
there.
better. I like the two fingers. I like that.
So,
The-
Maddie,
the
I actually
British-
have a
the,
question.
the British two fingers. Yeah, that's good.
I actually have a question for you, Maddie, because you were giving a very good point earlier, and I wanted to kind of bring up that. So
Ginger's very
What-
philosophical tonight. This is not like you, Ginger. You must have been doing loads of research.
Man, like I said, ever since I got off YouTube, I started making myself smarter, and I know that's a fucking dangerous thing because my mom ever told me if I ever
I
became.
fucking
if
told
I
you
ever
to
got a
educate
brain,
yourself about a year ago, but go on.
I've been working on it, goddammit. Anyway, so I guess this is a question for everybody. Like, what kind of personal testimony would you guys accept? Like, what would this person have to like prove or like say to like make you not think it's like bullshit? Like, I could
The
see
first
like,
thing that
someone-
came to mind, right?
Let me say. Go ahead.
No. If I can, Marty, because I'll forget, because I have been drinking and smoking. Because did you watch the debate? If for me personally, just the first thing that popped into my mind, because we were speaking earlier about my nanny. If this man turned up in front of me and said, "I am Jesus, I am God, I can do absolutely everything," I would say to him, "Right, create my nanny right in front of you, bring her back from the dead, have her there, get her to talk to me." And, you know, there's a few things that only my nanny would know, you know, and like what biscuits are like, and, you know, where she used to keep her fucking medicinal wine hidden under the kitchen sink and stuff like that there, you know. If that was proven to be my nanny, then that, to me, as an arbitrary thing, personal experience, would be enough to convince me. Marty?
Sorry,
Oh, no, Marty was
before you go-
next. Marty was next. Fabio, I know.
Let
Shh.
me ask you a clarifying question.
Yes.
So you said, I was talking about Ginger. You said about what kind of personal testimony. That personal testimony has to bring me to believe the God they claim.
Yeah, like so, like let's just dismiss like a group of people saying the same shit. So like I can see why you guys would question that, but it's like what like so like what MathPig made a really good example. Like if he had his nanny there, you know, but like would it have to happen to you, or could you take this person's like experience and believe it? Like, does it have to happen to you?
So if my nanny came back to my brother.
I would not.
It's an hypothetical, right? But you know, I would say that personal testimony would probably be a hard pass for me.
And it depends on what you're asking for. Like, so, okay,
Yeah.
so if you were asking me about the conversion story related to Christians, that would probably be a lower bar than what.
Well,
it would
no, it's not
require.
just like the Christian God. It's like any God. Like
Okay.
basically, what I'm
Okay,
saying
yep.
is like, does this event have to happen to you personally, or if somebody that
Yes.
you've known for like a long period of time that you know doesn't bullshit you came to you and was just like, hey, I cannot fucking explain this, but this is what happened, and like they're giving you word for word what exactly happened to
No.
them, and they're involving a certain God. Could you
I'd
take
like to
that for
make a
face
quick-
value?
No,
Clarifying point, real quick, before
Yeah,
you
go ahead,
before you
sorry.
step in, Jefferson.
sure.
You let's not equivocate personal testimony, right, with personal revelation. And you're asking all the right clarifying questions.
enough.
Right? Previously, I wasn't talking about testimony. I was talking about revelation. So it wasn't hearing other people's personal revelation. It was
Okay.
having that personal revelation, right? Listening to
Yeah.
them, dismiss. right? But for the same reasons. But like I said, it happening to me would have that kind of the gravity of the situation that's psychologically satisfying, begin to identify with the belief component. What were you going to say, Jeff?
Now, I and I agree with that. I mean, there is a lot of caveat there. It is not. I mean, I can imagine that maybe listening to somebody's testimony might convince me, but it wouldn't be the story per se, right? It would be something, again, it will fall into the personal revelation stuff. For the same reason why, I mean, I can meet 20 people and they tell me all the same thing, you know, how they do, what they fuck, and I click with some people and I don't click with other people. That's the thing, right? So the story will be like a conduit, you know, for something, but it has to be, you know, as Christopher and me before said, you know, it has to be something personal. You know,
could I modify the situation slightly and say it's a mixture, right? If I said, if Jesus appeared to me and said, "I'm Jesus, whatever you want, I'll do."
Probably
it,
call
I'm
himself
Jesus."
Jesus.
And I said, "Oh, okay. I'd like a unicorn that shits gold bricks in my garden, please. Thank you very much." Oh, yes, you're Jesus.
Andy.
Congratulations. Now, if I told you, Fabio, and said, "Oh, look, I've got a unicorn that shits gold bricks given to me by Jesus,"
right?
You know, I'll fly you here, and you can have some of the gold bricks if you want. Do you think that's some kind? Not just. I'm going to show you the unicorn shitting the brick that I'm going to give you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Right up Fabio Street. Right up Fabio Street.
And I will probably grab some bricks, and the only thing that I will get from that story is that Simos has a unicorn shitting bricks.
Right.
Is this confirmation that you are in that special circle in the middle?
It's a white unicorn in the winter snow-laden field, and it's just a steaming heap of gold.
Yes.
Just a steaming,
I'm just
big
pulsating.
piles. Big,
As you say, steaming, all I'm thinking is Jurassic Park. Remember that scene in Jurassic Park 1?
But the thing, you know, I would say, you know, look, Fabio, here's a gold brick. Go and hire a virgin, and we'll find out whether she can ride the horse, the unicorn.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I know it's really a unicorn. Nobody else can ride the unicorn.
Is that how the myth goes? Is he supposed to leave breadcrumbs too?
No, only virgins can ride unicorns. That's part of what
so
a
I didn't know
unicorn
that.
is.
Must be something British, but
There you go. You see.
I don't know.
Obviously, you haven't had that much experience with virgins.
I love that.
I'm not sure whether that came out quite right.
I honestly love that, Fabio. It's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that must be something British.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And when Fabio says it must be British, I just assume he means by British he means degenerate.
Hey, I'm just telling the story.
You guys
exactly.
just haven't read enough myths. That's all.
Exactly.
So I am
read
kind of
enough myths.
curious, Jeff. I'm kind of curious on like what your opinion on all this is, because I've heard from everybody else except you and Midnight. So
Yeah. So I think in the case of like being convinced, okay. So I don't. This is actually kind of a weird thing. Yes, Maddie. Yes.
Oh, you can hear me? No, because someone in the chat said they couldn't hear me, and I talked earlier, and everybody ignored me.
It was you, MathPig. Oh, okay.
So you can hear me? No, that's all right. Yeah, I'm just
I
making
can hear
sure.
you.
Sorry, Jeff. Who are you talking to?
I don't know. It's some stranger. Sounds exactly. Anyway, no.
Is it Jesus?
Jesus.
I do. I've been known to talk to Jesus from time to time. His name is Jason in Greek, and my brother's name is Jason. So, yeah, there it goes. Anyway, I think the idea of like kind of like reconciling some of this stuff, I don't think it really works all that well because one of the things that I think is more interesting about this is that well, the notion that I think I may have lost my track.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thanks,
Gold brick shitting unicorns.
Gold brick shitting unicorns.
Yeah. Well, But Ginger had asked me, Ginger, what was the initial question that you had asked everybody?
So the question was,
Proof?
what exactly? Yeah, what in your opinion would be considered proof that a god? Not like I'm not limiting it to just like the Christian God, because like everybody claims there's a fucking million different gods. So I'm gonna be generous here. Like if somebody can't, like, what would it take for someone to prove to you that a god or gods existed?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's two different things. Okay, so one standard of evidence would be to watch a bunch of people actually converted in a way that matched the stories of Christians. So, like, I don't subjectively experience a conversion history, but I watch a bunch of people who, like, criminals and a-holes and all these kinds of things. They get pulled into the church, and then they're basically converted, and they're told, like, hey, you need to seek forgiveness from people that you victimized and all that kind of stuff. And then I watch them do that, right? Like, you just watch this daisy chain of people walk into a church and go from being an asshole to a saint, right?
How's that different to the How's that different to the Vatican?
Well, I
Well,
also
no, but
I
no,
kinda
but
do that.
you know what I mean. Like, if you were to see enough people over time, right, go from being completely unrepentant, right, to being repentant, right, like you just watch them go through the cycle. That might be enough to actually convince you that there might be something to this church thing,
Can I
right?
ask a question?
Now, the trick is whether or not you want me to be convinced of it, right? Personally, whether
Well,
or
no,
not I have a
that's the thing.
subjective experience of it, that's a trick.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what, like, that's what I'm asking. What would convince you yourself? Like, what would it take for you to be convinced that there is a God?
That would be
That's
the
the question.
that would be the work of irresistible grace by the Holy Spirit that Calvinists talk about. If
Also,
that thing
MathPig-
actually if that happens to me, I'm in. Until that happens, any Christian can eat my dick. Sorry.
Oh, by the way, MathPig, I can't see chat because if I try to, it'll kick me out. So if anybody else in the chat is answering this question, I'd love to hear their answers.
Okay, oh yeah,
'Cause,
anything relative.
Because like the thing is, like, here's why I asked. Like, this is what got me started on this question, and y'all can call bullshit if you want. But
Wildheart, go wash your
on-
hands running through your hair. Make your hair look a whole lot better. I can tell you've just woke up. I can tell you've just woke
So-
up.
So on the anniversary of my mom passing, right? I don't really know how to explain this, but I had a weird, like, I guess you could call it a dream because I don't really know, but it was me and my mom talking, right? So I told this to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Oh, that's proof that like God exists," blah 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 blah. And so like that kind of got me thinking, well, like, so what would it take for what would it take for someone that doesn't believe that a God exists or gods exist to actually start believing that it's possible for a God to exist? That's kind of why I brought this question up, because I wanted to pick everyone's brain here. Because like that's the thing, like I also see the point where like a lot of Christians fuck up by making us bring the burden of proof. You know what I'm saying? So like that's their main fuck up there, is like, oh, you guys have to prove that God's wrong, that God doesn't exist, rather than we have to prove that he does. So that was kind of my initial question, was just like, what will it take for you yourself to believe that a God exists?
Okay.
And anybody's welcome to answer that question. Like, that's a challenge to anybody.
I already did.
I've gotten a lot of answers so far.
In my case, I mean, given what I know about Christian theology, especially like Calvinist, Reformed theology, and a variety of others, right? And most Christian theology actually centers on this, and at least they at least agree on this. It's the idea of grace, right? The work of grace. Calvinist or Reformed theology has a version of grace that is closer to irresistible than others, right? Which is you repent because of an act of irresistible grace, and that's why you were saved, right? It's a little bit deterministic. Other Christian denominations don't like it, right? But even Catholic or other Protestant denominations have their own kind of doctrines about grace. My idea about this is very simple. If any of these theological doctrines of grace, any of them, are real, if they work, if they take, if they apply, I want to feel one. Like a mushroom hit, like a puff of weed, like a shot of whiskey. I want to feel.
So basically, you have to go through that motion.
I want that experience of that grace, right? And that requires a work of the Holy Spirit, which is not something that human agents can bring about. Only the Holy Spirit
Yes.
can. I want that and only that, and I
love it.
am entitled to it according to Calvinist doctrine and at least a couple others. So unless they can provide that, I don't want anything else. I want that feeling. I want that hit. I want that smoke, that snort, that sniff, that
You just want to
hit.
get high on God.
Yeah, I want
Yes.
that.
Oh, Cerberus is here. I definitely want to hear fucking Cerb's answer. I'm not
God.
discounting anybody else, but I do want to hear dude, the thing is and MathPig, I hope you're cool with me doing this, but I actually wanted to take everyone's answer from the stream and then put it into a video myself, so that way I could
Now it makes sense. You're stealing content. No,
Okay,
I
I'm just
understand.
let me finish. Because the thing is, I'm actually doing my own little research project on this kind of thing.
No,
So
no.
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking if people
good fucking luck with the unicorn shitting, gold grapes given by a virgin. Yeah,
I
good luck
might
with
have
that,
to
man.
pull some
Hey,
fucking pixie dust out of my ass for that one.
Ginger,
Yeah.
you have
I
permission
think that
to
was
use.
probably my best argument today, actually.
You have permission to use
but-
any content that you are included on, and also anything of Fabio and Simos talking about middle holes, unicorn shitting gold bricks. If you can make a comedy out of that, you're welcome to it too.
Well, yeah, it's just like the thing is I find the thing that I find most fascinating about this is that one of the things that was thrown at me as a question was besides the whole God seems like if he is real, he's a terrible fucking person because he lets this happen or that happen, right? Taking all of that off
Christian
the
God,
table,
yes.
right? Like what is the biggest turnoff for you into Christianity, right? Taking out all of the negative shit that we know and
Biggest
all the
turnoff.
negative people, what would be the biggest turnoff? So that's kind of what spiraled me into this whole fucking research thing.
Yeah.
And that's why
Mary-
I'm asking all you guys this pretty stupid fucking question. But
No, it's not a stupid question.
Okay,
I'm
but what was
appreciating.
the question?
I'm appreciating you.
Before you
If
start,
I
I've got
can,
to say,
It's
I
a good
love
question.
Cerberus. I got to say, I fucking love Cerberus. I've been
I think
watching you
MathPig was
for
trying to say
years,
something.
since even before the new comic group, even way before that. I think you're brilliant, and I love you, Cerberus.
MathPig, go ahead. I'll wait to answer Cerberus so that way you can talk because you were saying something.
I just appreciate seeing you asking questions, Ginger, considering where we were talking a couple of months ago and what the state was and all the rest of it, and you were hating it, living in Nevada and all the rest of it and all that bullshit. Finding a rabbit hole to run down that's not bullshit and depression, go for it, man. Definitely go for it.
Appreciate that.
Don't you put your thumb up, Wildheart, you fucking contradiction in terms. Fucking fine, you need to do the same. You need to do the
I'm
same.
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing
Look
with
at
you.
Ginger.
What do you? I'd like to ask. I'd like to ask Wilder. What do you think of Cerberus?
Cunt. not Cerberus, Wildheart.
Cerberus is fucking amazing. But he still needs to answer the question to get
How long
the.
have you been watching
The
Cerberus?
question.
I'll be back in a minute.
I don't know what the question is.
So the question basically boils down to if and this isn't just to the Christian God, this is to all gods. What would it take for you to personally be convinced that there is a God? That was the question. What kind of proof, what experience, what would you need to go through to be okay, so there is a God?
Okay, so what's the term? Is it nominologically? Am I pronouncing that right? Speaking, I would. I think there are some gods that exist. Did I answer your question?
All right, well then let's everyone else has been answering about the Christian God. What would it take for you to believe that? Would it be so some people have said personal revelation, it has to happen to them. What would so saying that going against a Christian on a debate, that's not going to change shit. We all know that. We all know that there really isn't a really good fucking debate. I haven't seen one in a while. So what would it take for somebody fucking Joe over here that's trying to convert you? What would it take for you to believe that Christian God is real?
Oh, I honestly don't think that type of God claim. I don't think it's possible to convince me of. It's such a big ask that I'll always be able to come up with something I think is a more reasonable explanation.
Right, but what I'm saying is if let's say this for example, if God basically is hey, what's up? I'm God. Like, what would you need him or them to do to prove that this is God?
Well, like I said, I don't think there is. I mean, I would just, if I
Fair
was
enough.
having a conversation with them, I'd be like, well, you know that anything you do, I could just be like, hey, cool, alien bro. I wish I had your advanced technology.
And this goes to Wild
So,
Heart
like,
and
just
Midnight too.
stop trying.
Right. So this goes both to Wild Heart and the chats. I can't really see the chat, so if somebody can see it and someone's answering, I would love that answer too. But Wild Heart and Midnight, I haven't heard your guys' answer, so I'd love to hear them. Just for my own.
Yeah, it would have to be something first person. God would have to reveal himself first person. Come and meet me. Just talk to me.
I mean,
yeah, that's it. It would have to be first person.
okay, that's it.
So Wild Heart, pinballing off of that, like, so if God literally just showed up to you, you're just gonna take it point to the face, like that's it, that he exists.
Yes, if God turned up and if he just turned up, then I wouldn't know that he existed.
So
Whether
because
I
like
would call him God, I mean,
so the original
person.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The original question I threw out to both Simus and UC, right, was if the other side, so basically saying like if Christians or if an atheist approached a Christian and proved that the other side was wrong, right, without a shadow of a fucking doubt, I'm talking like absolutely prove to you that like you're wrong being an atheist and God is real, could you accept that and move forward?
Yes.
Oh, can I take my answer? I just thought of one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Given that this entity would be God, the Christian God, he would have the ability to scramble my brain and force me to believe.
Yeah,
right,
but how do you win, right?
so you could circumvent logic, right? You could get past my logical reasoning and make me believe him. So
well,
that's,
I mean, there's that whole free will
way.
aspect, is what I'm saying. Like, well, I'm not like I'm not saying that like he's just gonna make you believe. Is what I'm like. What like basically what I'm saying is if you had the like undeniable fucking proof, because like that's my thing is like I've been wanting to see what it would take for like certain atheists that I know. Like MathPig made a very good fucking point. Monty made a good point. Like everybody's made good points. But I respected, like, and I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but the two that I most respected, right, as of, like, right now for the answer-wise, was definitely MathPig and Monty's, because, like, it does kind of make you think, like, if God's real, right, a good example of this would be, like, my mom standing fucking in front of me, and me and her literally having time to spend together. Like, that would be like, all right, well, I can't really fucking deny that God's real. You know what I'm saying? So, like, is there, like, a certain thing, saying, like, for that to make you believe?
No, presumably aliens could do that too, right?
Stop stealing my answers, sir.
Even if you want to rule out all sort of naturalistic answers, how do I rule out like Shiva trying to trick me, and it's not actually Yahweh? I can't. I don't know how to do that.
And by the way, I wasn't blowing smoke up Monty or MathPig's ass. I was just that I actually really liked those answers. Those were fucking spot on.
Moate.
Oute.
Right, like I want to answer, but I feel like Serb has taken everything I was gonna say and said it already.
And that's the king fucking dog.
If it wasn't Serb, it was just the other five of us that have answered it so far, because we've all said similar things, apart from Moate and Fabio.
I really don't exist on my own channel. I swear to God, I need to check the settings in this shit. Like,
sorry,
we can hear you. We're just ignoring you.
That's all right.
I
was just making sure. I was just making sure.
With my headphones.
I was just making sure. Oh, you're doing well with your. Oh, Simos, I have to comment now. You're doing fantastic with your headphones tonight. Not once have you put the mic under your nose.
MathPig, you are the unicorn, which all us virgins are riding on.
Are you fuck a virgin? Are you fuck a virgin?
I'm not saying we can see your horn from here, but it's quite obvious.
Yes.
He's chewing on it right now. He's giving it. Yeah. Joke aside.
Thank you.
Marty,
Thank you, Fab.
you've been very quiet. I'd like you to,
everyone-
remind. First and foremost, remind Wildheart. 23 minutes in. Does it all matter, or what does it matter? What was that stream yesterday? He needs to rewatch
What
back.
does it matter? It always matters.
No, the stream name.
I know exactly
What's
what
the
you're
point?
I know what you're talking.
What's the
I was
point?
about to launch into it, dipshit.
You giving me shit in my? Are you giving me shit in my fucking channel, motherfucker? Where's that button?
Yes.
Where's
Hey,
that button?
it's a theme. It's
I
a
launched
theme.
into
What
it
can
and
we
like,
say?
No, not that.
Where's that button? There we go. Get the fuck.
Love it. Love every fucking bit of it. Yet Wildheart, of course it matters. Because you matter. The connections that you make matter. You need to keep doing your hangs. Make the connections. You're here. You look forward to this. You have goals.
Yep, I agree with that.
Right.
So what was your answer, Midnight?
Basically aliens, but
Basically aliens. What the?
well, no. Okay.
Interesting. Interesting.
Your channel? I'm
Do
not
they
saying
shit
it's
gold
wrong,
bricks as well?
No. Okay, I guess a little more seriously. If I met somebody that's God and they were to show something that they were to show something like, let's see. I mean, I suppose that they were to show me my uncle who died like, when was it? 10 years ago, maybe a little more than that. And it was actually him where he knew everything. I'd be like, okay, well, this is definitely something, but at the same time, it's like, is it possible that there's aliens that they have the technology to do this? It's just, I don't know. Personally, I feel like I will never. I think I personally would never believe in God at all, because there's always an explanation. Be like, okay, well, it could be, it could be some alien pretending to be like a 1,000-year-old demon coming back for revenge, a la Star Trek, The Next Generation, Devil's Due, or the Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Changelings, or the wormhole aliens, the Prophets. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
Yeah.
So what have
Q,
you met?
or Q, the all-powerful Q, who can be considered a god, but they're, but.
So what have you met God, and God was just a person, and you met them, but you didn't know it was God. You would still know that God existed. Do you have to know that you know that God exists?
That is a very confusing question.
It is. It is. You met a person. They were actually God. But you,
Right. It sounds like
you
it
didn't
sounds
know.
like. Well, hold on, Wildheart. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're asking, what if God was one of us?
Well, oh, you just tempted. I can't do karaoke. It's my week to go.
Yeah,
doing karaoke.
karaoke.
I'm not doing karaoke. I was just referencing the song. You just
Now,
reminded me.
How about that? If someone came in here and MathPig let them do karaoke, and then said, Wildheart, you could do karaoke. It's okay. I'm God. MathPig won't kick you. Would that convince you?
That's not gonna happen. Plus, I don't have mods.
Right, can you see
So
that? Yeah.
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 Okay, right. Now give me a second because I have to set it up for the. I have to set it up. This isn't. This is an homage to Samos. Give me a second.
Thank you.
I might be able to set it up
you.
for everybody else to be able to see it as well. Just ignore it for a minute. Just ignore it. Continue
I'm
your
gonna look for
conversation.
some ice cream.
Literally can't.
What?
What? God damn it. Never mind. What the fuck?
Okay, right. I think the audience should be able to see it now. So, this is an homage to Samos. There's your unicorn pooping gold. That's what when I looked up unicorn pooping gold, this is the first thing that popped up. All right.
It's a dragon. Okay.
I have no idea where this is going, and that's all we're doing of that. But if you type into YouTube unicorn pooping gold, that's what you get.
Is it weird
Yeah.
that the only thing about that bothered me was the angle at which the poop was coming out?
Well, actually, it was
Yeah,
the skin
that's
of the
weird.
it was the
That's
skin
weird.
of the unicorn that bothered me.
If I remember correctly, that series of commercials is satirical and crazy. And if I remember, it might be for like this little ledge that you put your feet on so that you poop at a certain angle on the toilet. And they know how crazy it is. Like in one commercial, I do think that he has like a soft serve cone with shit coming out of a unicorn's ass and he eats it.
Marty, I thought it was a joke. The fact that you know about it and have detailed information makes me slightly afraid.
The name of the guy who invented it was a friend of mine. No.
That explains so
From New
much.
Jersey, and he used to.
Did anybody else
Great.
see Wildheart doing this and then a load of white stuff
He
coming
had a
out?
model. He had a model of a unicorn on an ice
I
cream
was,
van.
I was
And he used to get the
squeezing
kids-
sour cream onto a piece of. I need to eat, so I'll be right back. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what that was.
Yeah, well,
Weird
you know,
sandwich.
we're gonna kick you because you said salad cream. Oh no, I
I
can't.
think it's sour cream.
Salad cream. Salad cream is like bad it's like mayonnaise gone off. And now
Oh, I love Heinz salad cream. Oh, I love that.
Oh, I can't even kick you either. The fucking bot and everything's to say. Yeah, Dargendorp, if you're still watching, I need some help tomorrow.
Okay. Is there anybody that hasn't answered the question? That's no.
Cerberus,
Okay.
did Cerberus get a chance?
Well, no, I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cerberus answered, but I'm just pointing out the one person that didn't answer that question is Jesus.
What? Yep.
Who's Jesus? Which
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 is-
Fucking
Jesus.
deep that. That's fucking deep that shit.
did our cult leader watch the entire debate?
I had the
Who's cult
entire
leader?
debate on while I was doing things and stuff.
Right. Things and stuff are far more important than
But I
that
was
are.
listening to other
Oh,
music.
shut up, you the fuck. Give me. I've been quiet for ages. Everybody's been ignoring me on my own channel. Give me a fucking minute, right?
Let me explain something. Where is it?
This is his porn camera.
So, you see this pedal right here? This Beat Buddy?
That's not things and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, what the silver one on the end?
Yeah, these two.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
They're a drummer in the pedal.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know if
I
you
think
can hear any
I
of
think
that.
you're lying because there's probably
it's
too
literally-
much
I chopped
too
them
much
up.
intelligence in those pedals to be a drummer.
His name was John.
Right, so you were listening during the...
boom.
So you were probably giving it about as much attention as I give this whole thing as we were talking earlier. About 20% of your attention. The rest of it is
Listen.
things and stuff.
I happened to buy a new package of drums and drum beats for John. And
I
I
have
had
access to and be able to use.
But
and stuff.
I was listening to everything that you said. Hey, I can summarize the whole fucking thing.
I said fuck all. I just sat back and talked to the chat and drank wine. Simos just was having fun.
Yeah. Here's the bumper
So-
sticker of the whole debate.
Yeah,
Brute
please do.
fact.
What was it? What was it?
Brilliant.
What was that?
It's shit.
Oh, sorry. Say that again, Marty. I missed it.
Brute fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What a stupid non-argument to come into an argument with.
Why I asked him about gravity at the end.
That was
Somebody's
crazy.
snoring.
No, that's my dog. He's doing this. Yeah. Feel ashamed. You're making the noise. Quiet.
I thought it was me for a moment there.
It probably was your nose, but I'm blaming the dog anyway. He's been making noise behind me and annoying me.
Yeah. So can we hear the drummer, or does he not talk? Typical drummer.
John, he was just playing drums while you
Oh,
talked.
okay.
So it was
Oh,
almost
I
like
see.
you were rapping.
I
The,
think it's
the pedal's name
Jefferson.
is John. Is that right?
The one that I killed and chopped up and put into that pedal.
Hey, MathPig, I
That
think
was a silly
Jefferson
thing to
fellas-
do. You needed to
think
get
Jefferson
to
fell
higher
asleep.
than 4.
Midnight is saying something about how he loves Jefferson's what?
No, I think Jefferson fell asleep.
No, but what is wrong with brute fact?
Fair comment.
He does do that.
What is wrong with the brute fact?
Oh,
Do brute facts
Wild Heart's fighting for the pre-sup now. Go Wild Heart, go Wild Heart.
What is
It's
a-
your
what is a
birthday.
brute fact
I love the way Marty just does this. I'm not even gonna fucking deal with that shit and moving the mic away.
What? Something that couldn't be any other way is a brute fact, right? It couldn't be any other way. Therefore, it is a brute fact. Say I thought the laws of logic were brute facts. They couldn't be any other. What is wrong with that?
Well, for one, we know they can be.
Right? How could a thing be not the thing that it is? The law of identity.
Our Wild Heart.
Yeah.
God is a brute fact. Argue that. Argue against that motherfucker. God is a brute fact.
Then I would need evidence.
Did
that is
Simos
the fact.
nearly
No.
vomit? Sorry.
You
did-
don't need evidence. It's a brute fact.
No. It's
Oh,
a
you
brute
think
no,
fact.
you
Simon's
still need
just
evidence.
gold.
To believe it, you still need evidence.
I thought you were
No.
gonna vomit.
Hold on a second. You know,
You don't need
if
evidence.
it's a brute fact,
I'm quite.
you don't need to explain it. It's a brute fact.
No, no. The brute fact will still exist, but for me to understand it, I will still need evidence.
It's basically.
Then it would be a brute fact.
Replace
from-
brute. Right. Do you remember the conversation you had the other day about presuppositions and how they're axioms with Marty? Replace brute fact with presupposition. You're sorted.
Presuppositions.
The way they're an axiom, you don't have to explain them. There's no justification needed. The whole JG thing.
It is
Marty's-
what it is. It has absolutely no explanatory powers at all.
Right, so,
It's just is.
but for me to understand that that's the case, I still have to have understanding that they are brute facts or presupposition. I still need to understand that they.
I presuppose God exists.
I'm wrong.
Right? Prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong. I'm saying that if
There you
I
go.
believe...
Done.
Right, I'll think on that. I'm obviously not catching on.
You're only awake. You're only awake.
Yeah, well, Wild Heart, that was the argument used.
No,
So
don't
brute
leave.
fact
I would.
or-
No. Come back, Wildheart. Come back. Don't leave.
Does
I was
someone
gonna
mute
say-
Jefferson? Because I think he actually is.
He actually is snoring. Yeah.
Good man.
Right. Well, the hack's not working, so I have to do it this way. So.
Sorry, Jeff.
Oh my goodness, the bars. Oh, there he goes. Coming back. There we go.
Don't blame him. Don't blame him.
What? Right.
Well, that
In
was
the center
argument that was
screen,
being
what is
used
right,
by the
hold on,
Christians.
if I can just say, I haven't been able to see the fucking private chat since we went to this hangout because it's 9 people, it's full.
Listen,
And I just switched the hack off to kick Jefferson, and center screen was something in the private chat that Fabio said all about anal. For about 2 seconds, that was center screen of my entire stream. What the fuck are you talking about in the private chat?
I mean, he's not wrong.
We're talking about some brute facts about unicorns and virgins.
I love those kinds of arguments because they just mirror the argument. You just say, well, fine then, a godless existence is a brute fact.
I think
And
I
then
did
just
at
make-
one point in the argument. Just do that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
and then
so-
mirror
I've
everything they
never-
use against you. Back at
I've
them.
never.
So
Go
the
ahead.
question is, I believe that the laws of logic exist. Even if God was a brute fact, why do I not believe that brute fact? But I do
Because
believe
you don't
God-
think it's a brute fact.
I don't
exactly.
agree with the presupposition.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
The booty get.
Ah, yeah, that's good. So,
Things are held without justification. Beliefs that are held without justification, basically. So saying that
yeah, I agree with that.
saying that you need someone to prove it is just illogical. Obviously, you
Yeah.
can't prove a brute fact because it has no justification.
But I want to know why I believe the laws of logic. Why?
Why?
Hold on.
Oh,
Just to
yeah,
just to
continue.
confirm your question, right? You're asking us why you believe the laws of logic.
Yeah, and not God. God could be a brute fact. God could exist.
No, but you're asking us why you believe that. Only you can really answer that question.
I mean,
To be
yeah.
generalized, right? Midnight, if I can just be finished, to be generalized and say what you should say is because you've seen evidence of them, they followed through, they've been repeatable and all that, blah, 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 all the meme answers that we fucking talk about. But you're asking us to give you a justification for your own personal understanding of why you take them as a presupposition.
I'm saying I believe the laws of logic exist. I don't believe God exists. If God exists, why do I believe the laws of logic exist and not God?
Because you've...
Both could be true. There must be reasons why.
Okay, and well, taking that very simple, really fucking dead, the world could be flat, the world could be round. You believe one over the other due to evidence and repetition of this, that, and the other. And the same thing can be applied to the laws of logic over God. The way you define the God that you see as the triomni, you have seen logical contradictions in it. You have seen no evidence physically of it. You haven't had a personal testimony that you can attest to being an experience existentially. So, you haven't seen any evidence of God. Same as you haven't seen any evidence of it being flat. You follow with the consensus and what you see around you and what reality comports with as the people around you agree. Which is a group of fucking atheists. If you were drunk surrounded by Christians, you probably would be a Christian.
Ginger, I'm going to get go see... I'm telling you what's on your channel. Ginger...
That's not the case. That isn't the case with logic, by the way.
Yeah, so I do
Simos,
have a quick
right, hold on. Simos is very logically minded, so if he could correct and
well,
maybe
no, I'm not going to
rephrase
correct
what I'm
everything.
saying.
Everything you said is fine. I'm just going to point out that isn't the same with logic. With logic, you see things be themselves, and therefore, it's reasonable to believe that logic exists.
Oh yes, I did say comports.
You're off soon. I take it.
I gotta go.
Almighty, would you give 2 minutes?
2
2 minutes on a wee roundup? What do you think?
What do you need? Say that again.
What I just said to Wildheart, is there anything you would like to rephrase on it or comment on or anything like that to tweak it, make it better? Because you have a better way of articulating things. Why is my icon popping up? That's all see, Dargendorp, this is why I need you to fucking...
It's making decisions for everybody, apparently. We don't need to be looking at that mug. Oh, there it is.
What the fuck?
Anyway.
Right.
Before I bounce, let me just make it clear to everybody on the panel and watching that the meaning of life is the meaning that you create from it. And you're all awesome.
First and
Yeah, I am
foremost,
pretty
because
awesome.
I know you. You have to stay here for as long as you can. And I'll just leave it at
Mounty,
that.
it was cool meeting you, bro. Thank you for answering my question. by the way.
Mounty backslap power up.
Oute.
You
Moute.
want to put your hand on the monitor?
All worship our cult leader. All worship our cult. Look, the Sith Lord refuses to. Come on, Fabio.
No,
Fabio, no.
Here we go.
What are you doing?
Here we go.
We don't want to see the unicorn
Longest
horn.
Italian hands.
Oh,
Longest Italian hands. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
You're all healed. You're all healed.
Okay,
Bye.
so I have a quick question, so that way I can get caught up because I had to go take care of some in-life personal things. What were you saying, Wild Heart? So that way I can actually hear the whole thing real quick. I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
Yeah, what were they correcting you on? So that way I know.
I don't think they corrected me. I think they agreed with me. I have evidence of the laws of logic.
Okay.
Oh, brute fact. It's about brute
Presuppositions. A
facts.
brute fact. Just presuppositions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't declaring anything. He was asking questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my bad. What was the question? Because I really didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
why do I believe that the laws of logic are a presupposition, and I don't believe that God is a presupposition? I must have reason. I'm not asking.
Okay,
I'm
so
just explaining to Ginger.
I think your bad explanation. I think the way you're explaining it is bad and
Right.
wait and only a way.
okay, so then you want to take a crack at it, MathPig?
The question changed.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, Cerberus. It changed ever so slightly. That's why I did this. All right? No. Just rethink, and you know, why do you agree that it's okay to presuppose logic and it's not okay to presuppose God? I think that's what you're trying to ask.
Fair enough. Thank you. I'm sorry I interrupted the whole conversation. I just wanted to make sure I was on.
Oh
on
no,
top
a
of
lot
it.
of us have either high or drunk and misappropriating our words. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm high.
Or just stuttering very badly, even though they're not drunk or high. So you know, there's that.
Oh, that's right. Before I forget, I was going to say this earlier. For anyone that wants to see God and has $20, I have a trank gun at DMT. Just let me know.
Ooh, really?
Yeah,
I'll give you
Yo,
a
bro, I'm
cash
gonna have
app.
to come to you for
Yeah,
DMT.
thank you.
Yeah.
My answer is I can't ask logic for a poop shitting unicorn, but I can ask God.
So, I actually have a question for everyone here.
We're
and
not worthy.
Even in chat.
It doesn't make sense, Fabio. Don't think about that, Fabio.
I will think about it if I want to.
I'm Fabio.
I know. But also I really wanted to say thank you for saying what you said earlier, MathPig. I appreciate that.
What did he say?
I said that it was
he
good.
was
I think what he's
encouraging.
he's been thinking about things down rabbit holes rather than just sitting at home going bah.
Yeah, I figured I would use my ADHD to my advantage rather than a crutch.
I use
No,
my
that-
Asperger's as an advantage at work over a crutch. Good.
So, Wildheart, I wanted to ask you this, like forever ago, but I haven't really had a chance to even talk to you. So, do you see yourself more as so when you react to something, right? Do you react with it through emotion, or do you react through it with logic? That's my question, and I'm not taking a shot at you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm asking like a sincere question.
It must be logic. I don't know what reacting to something with emotion.
So, like, for example, right? Let's say somebody says something to you that you kind of take the wrong way, right? Are you more going to respond and like, what the fuck does that mean? Or like, are you gonna like try to form questions to make them more understanding? Like, is your first instinct to get frustrated at that person, or to ask like a legit question?
Yeah, the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold
From what
on. Right, Simos knows, right?
Jesus Christ, man.
Shut the fuck up is my channel. I kick your ass, right? So, Wildheart, you're making the statement that your first response is to ask questions and not respond emotionally. Yes or no?
Ask questions and not respond
Emotionally.
Nah.
You don't respond. I'm going to mute myself and let the continuation of the conversation happen. And then when this is finished,
So-
I'm going to show Wildheart being very question oriented.
So the reason I ask this, and this doesn't have to just be to Wildheart. This could be to anyone that might either react to either side. So the way that I've come to understand things, and I could be completely fucking wrong, and I'll admit that before I continue. I've been listening to a lot of books breaking down psychology for me, right? Because I am not the smartest person, and so I kind of need things to be dumbified. And one of the things that I've been learning is like the way somebody reacts can really determine on what they believe, and that's kind of where I've come from. So the reason I asked you that question was to kind of like see why you believe logic over like a God, for example, because I'm not saying to anybody here that like if you believe in God you're not logical, because I'm that's kind of a dick thing to say. What I am saying is like, for example, if something shitty happened to you today, you know,
Yeah.
some people go, oh well, God didn't want me to get the promotion or blah 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 blah, and then other people are like, well, today just sucked, so maybe tomorrow will be better. And then there are other people that will break down what happened to that day and try to prevent it from happening again. So that's the reason I asked you that, and I'm like, anybody's free to answer that question, by the way. Like, I'm not gonna fucking try to psychoanalyze you because I can't do that. I'm not that good.
Yeah, I've never believed in any god, so I can't. I can't even imagine doing that thing of God made it happen.
Right. So, like, how old were you when you were introduced to religion?
It would have been when I went to school, like 5 or 6.
Sorry, could you do me a favor, Ginger? Could you repeat that question?
The one that I just asked.
The one you just asked, I might have to answer again.
What the age question or the logic versus?
Very last question you just asked him. What age was?
How? Yeah, what age were you when you were introduced to any form of religion?
As far as I know, it was like 5 or 6 when I first went to school.
So, what was your parents like? What was your parents' take on religion, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, they didn't really care. They weren't. I went to a Catholic school, but I only went to a Catholic school because it was the best school in the area. Not
because your parents believed in. Okay, so one of the reason I'm asking that question is because this isn't all of the time. This isn't every single case, but a lot of the cases for Christianity, so these people were born into a family that was Christian or like any form of denomination of Christian, right? So they were raised on it. So 9 times out of 10, that's probably even more generous than I should be, but like 9 times out of 10, when these people grow up, they don't grow out of religion, they grow deeper into it, rather than, because, and this is kind of a fucked up take on this, and I'll admit that, and I hope I don't offend anyone here, but in my opinion, religion is kind of used to people that aren't always free thinkers and don't think, why would I follow this God? Why would I want to, what does he bring to the table, right? Some people are like, oh yeah, this guy that apparently knows about Jesus and everything about him is telling me this is what I should do, so this is what I'm going to do because he apparently knows more. You know, that's kind of the reason why I fell out of Christianity, because like nobody I knew would question why God wants us to live this way or not want us to do this, or, you know, all of these other fucking things that was taught in Southern Baptist churches, because that's what I grew up in, right? Yeah. So that's kind of why I started falling out of it, was because I started asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, so I think a lot of the time why people don't take the presupposition of God is because they were not raised on that presupposition. They were raised on logic. You know, you fall off your bike, you did something to cause yourself to fall off your bike. It's not God wanted you to fucking feel pain or whatever the fuck a Christian might use.
I mean, I was raised Roman Catholic and, you know, went to Sunday school and all that. Like, wasn't really raised.
Right, but that's why I said 9 times out of 10. Like, that's why I was saying not every time does this happen, because, like, I know people that were raised Catholic, like fucking Roman Catholic, and to this day, I know 2 of them are atheist. One of them's fucking, pagan, and then the other one's Hindu. So, like, everybody grew out of one thing, and maybe they fell into another, but, like, doesn't happen every time, is what I'm saying.
Catholicism doesn't work, would be my...
I don't think that's where we're... Who made up Catholicism?
Roman Catholicism, that's what it's called.
Oh,
Roman
I thought you said solipsism.
No, Roman Catholicism doesn't work.
All right, my bad.
Roman solipsism.
No. Solipsism is solipsism. That's an oldie. Wow.
Green Soul.
No, I don't think people get indoctrinated with the presupposition that God exists. I think that they come to that determination later because they want to justify their personal beliefs.
Fair enough.
And they feel that is some kind of justification.
Right, and like I appreciate the critique on what I was saying, Simus, because like I said, I'm not going to claim that I know everything about this topic. It's
Nobody
just what I've come to understand.
Green
So,
Soul,
like,
Green Soul, just to point
What's going on?
Green Soul, come on, put an icon up and not a celebrity or something. Come on, be nice.
Oh, can I ask Green Soul the question I asked y'all?
You may, yes.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
So Green Soul, let me ask you a question real quick before the following question. Do you believe in any God, or are you religious at all?
Yes, I'm very religious.
What religion, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Muslim.
Okay.
Oh.
So
I'll give the full answer. The full answer's fun.
Oh,
you don't have to if you don't want to, my guy. I'm not gonna make you.
Fabio left. Fabio left.
Oh, where's
I
Fabio?
mean,
I went to say hi to Fabio. Where's the fuck is Fabio?
Oh,
no, no,
Fabio.
I
yeah,
have
it's
to go.
okay.
It's
It's
like-
good, hang on a second. Hey, how
Where's
you
Fabio?
doing,
Get Fabio
Grinkel? It's good to
back
see
here.
you, huh? Ragazzi mille, ragazzi.
Hey, what's going
Ciao,
on?
ciao.
Fuck's sake.
Fabio.
Can't believe we lost Fabio.
hey,
Fabio.
I'm the one.
What happened to you,
I'm
Fabio.
I'm the one in the cook that can actually speak Italian. Okay.
You're also the only one that's albino.
Hold on. We're diverging over the fact that Fabio left. Fabio, he's
Yeah, he
I like
leaves.
Fabio.
when
no.
I
If
come
I
in.
can just
I
say,
got-
if I can
I
just
got
say,
shit to
if I
Fabio.
can, shush your mouth, Green Soul. I'll fucking kick you, alright, right? Green Soul's not that bad. He's put up with my shit before. If he turns out a fucking line or whatever, I've given him shit. He's grand. He's not that bad, right? So Fabio,
I'm
come
not
back.
that bad.
You're not. Oh no,
So-
you're bad, but you're not that bad. Although I do love the fucking Tommy, the Tommy phase. Is your?
Oh,
Is your?
yes,
I think
yes.
your head's a
It's
little
my thing,
small.
man.
You must have a really tiny head.
I do have a tiny head, but I have a big brain.
Ah.
So
Right.
Right.
Hold on. I want to let
It's
Ginger. I want
condensed in
to
one
let Ginger.
spot.
I want to let Ginger ask him his question. We've now established his religion. Ask your
Okay,
question,
so-
Ginger, so he can give you a response.
Let's say an atheist came up to you, right? And they were having a conversation. So
Yeah.
if somebody brought valid proof, so this is the first part of the question. If someone brought valid proof that Allah did not exist, right? Would you still take that and go with it, or would you deny it outright?
No, I'll go with it because you can't really prove that. I'm more of an agnostic theist. You can't really prove it through words. It's more of an experience. Even with the experience, right? It can
Right.
be very subjective.
Hey,
So
that's
I
Okay.
take a very rational approach to it as spirituality. I like being spiritual. It's just like that's the way I kind of maneuver my reality in some sense. But
No, I
I use
agree with you.
science as well. Yeah.
Right, I agree with you. I'm spiritual myself. So the
Mhm.
other part of the question is what would you need to go through? Like for example, everybody here is atheist or agnostic. So I asked them, what would it take for you to believe that God existed? So if there was if you had to go through something that proved that although isn't real, what would that have to be? And I'm not trying to dig at you, I promise. Like this is like a genuine fucking question.
Well, if something went to are you saying if something went to shatter my faith in some way?
Yeah, exactly. Like if
And I
there
just
was
say,
something that could, what would that be? Like if there was something that would
It
just
wouldn't-
basically tell you. Go ahead. Sorry.
I could tell you this. It wouldn't be the words of people. It would be an
Okay.
experience.
personal
Yeah.
testimony.
So it like a lot of people will say a lot of things, but it's more about the experience that you're having. And yeah, some words do have influence.
Right.
But I think if something were to shatter, it has to be something really heavy. And I went through spiritual crisis before. I'm not to say that there'll be an experience where it just shattered my fucking reality or something like that.
And I hope that doesn't happen.
I could see
By
that
any means.
happening. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I'm
it
not
could
I'm not
happen,
wishing that
but-
upon you by any fucking means. So I hope you don't.
Yeah.
No, it's a good,
Yeah.
that's
No,
a good
it's
answer.
okay.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
good
I
answer.
actually really
Yeah,
I
so,
do enjoy that. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Not
So-
that
Yeah,
bad.
so it has to be more about experience.
The other reason, there were two motives for me asking you guys these questions. One was to finish up a research that I'm working on, but also I wanted to and I doubt this is ever gonna actually fucking happen, but I have hopes. I'd like to sit down with actual Christians and agnostics and actually have this conversation. But like I said, I doubt that that's ever gonna actually fucking happen because it'll just turn into.
No, that's gonna happen. Don't. A lot of people want to talk about that shit. So.
Well,
I could
just
definitely
the
see it.
reason the reason why I'm kind of pessimistic on that is because 9 times out of 10 in this community, when you run into a Christian, you run
There's
into
no,
people
hold on. When you're in this channel and you're talking about this community, you're saying pigsty, and that doesn't apply to that.
No, I'm not. Well, I apologize. Other than the pigsty, like a lot of the time.
Well, when you
Other
say
than
Christian, when you say Christian, what type of Christians you talking about, though?
Honestly, here's the thing. I don't discriminate against any denomination. Like, I think that for some reason or another,
What do you think of Catholics?
I respect them just as much as I would respect a Baptist or a Calvinist, because like I said, when I got adopted, I grew up for about 8 years, I grew up in a Southern Baptist, but I've also experienced Roman Catholic, I've also experienced Calvinist, I've experienced a bunch of different versions of Christianity. None of them really fucking stuck with me, as you can tell now. But like, I'm not gonna discredit somebody just because they come into this conversation. Well, I'm a Roman Catholic, or I'm a Baptist, or whatever other denomination you want to pick from. That's my opinion, because like, for one reason or another, like I said before, you find that your section of Christianity is valid, and that's fine. Like, as long as you're not using that to be a dick, in my opinion, that's a valid. You have a valid point or whatever. Like, no, that's not what I meant, but fuck it, I can't really think of what I'm trying to say.
There's some Christians and even religious people in general that have very, very strong fundamental beliefs, and they would take issue on what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm just saying.
I've just got to point something out quickly, which is, when you say a particular denomination,
change that icon. Change that icon.
When you say a particular denomination, that is in some sense shorthand for a set of beliefs, right? And we may disagree with those beliefs, and it may be that not all people that have that label agree with all of those beliefs.
Right.
So I think we're kind of dancing around definitions when you say things like, "Oh, I don't think I would ever take it to be that evangelicals." No, evangelicals, right? By evangelical, I'm taking it to be somebody who thinks that the Bible is inerrant, right? And that's a problem for me, right? Because I think that there's some things in the Bible which are clearly errant. Okay, so there must be some cognitive dissonance for them to take that view. Now, is that all evangelicals? Probably not. There might be some evangelicals. There could be some sect of Christianity that I've never heard about or something which claim to be evangelicals that believe in a metaphorical Bible or believe that there are mistakes in it. I don't know.
I can actually give you that denomination. It's non-denominational.
I don't need to know. I really don't need to know. The point is, right, that these are labels, right, for a general group of people, right? So yes, I think everybody would agree with the precision by which you say just because somebody has a label, you can't necessarily mean that they necessarily believe in X, Y, Z. But that doesn't seem quite right to me, because there are labels, right? So I think there is a minimum or necessary condition to enable for that label, right? It just so happens that these minimal conditions are very, very general in the round, right? And so therefore, I don't call Frank a Christian, right? Even though he believes in Yahweh as being the central creator of the universe, although he has a different name for it, Allah, right? But I don't call him a Christian just because Christians also believe that Yahweh is their central creator, even though they call him the Father. You see what I mean?
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that.
So obviously it's going to be more complex. Right.
And like I said, I'm still doing more research into these things. So like the main reason why I want to have this conversation, and again, I'm sorry for just completely dismissing you, Green. That was kind of a dick thing for me to do. I apologize.
No. I'm just looking at your name. You called Ginger Jesus, really?
It's a nickname.
It's a joke, man. It's not a fucking anti-religion thing.
It's wild, man.
Let me just say this for anybody that thinks it's anti-religion.
I love the name, by the way.
Thank you. A close friend of mine gave me this nickname, so that's why I go by it. But
the ultra thinks she's a cow.
Yes, I do. Anyway, so like I think one of the reasons why I don't really consider labels, Simus, is because like I have labels, right? Like I am autistic. I do have ADHD. I have a lot of things. So these can be used as labels for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't want these labels to be used against me in a valid conversation, because to me, like, oh, you have autism, so you can't take part of this conversation. You get what I'm saying? Like, that would be something that I would want to avoid, because right then you're just being a fucking dick because you're discounting me because I have a mental disability.
Right. Yeah,
Whereas,
sure.
like,
But you call yourself, you know, do you think you have autism?
No, I know I have autism.
Okay, so therefore there is some standard definition by which you feel applies to you, right?
Right.
Okay, I mean that's the only point. I don't think we should use labels just to demean people.
Right.
I think we should use labels to demean ideas if that's where we're going to go with it, right? And that's that's generally the way language is done anyway, right?
Right.
So I don't see a difference here. Right? The difference.
And
between...
I do appreciate you for correcting me, by the way, because I
No,
fucked up my
I'm not correcting you. You were
No.
you
I'm
were
not
right.
saying that as a.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
You were right at the beginning. My point is just that it may not be the most erudite way to say what you're saying, and in fact, actually, it's kind of counterintuitive the way you're saying it, because it's not necessarily the case.
Right.
That that labels aren't useful in this way to attack people's ideas. Right, they can be, but you have to get them. If you want to attack that person, that's different to attacking the ideas.
Well, like, the other thing is, I don't want it to seem like I'm when I bring this conversation to the table, in any way, shape, or form, do I not want it to come off as like I'm attacking your stance,
likewise.
right? It's more of like, I want to know what, like, for example, one of my friends is one of the most free-thinking motherfuckers that I have ever met, with the exception of MathPig. Right? He is still Christian. He doesn't agree with every single thing in the Bible, nor does he take everything in the Bible literally, but he is still Christian, and that's why we can have these conversations. But it's not, like, my issue is, even though he is Christian, I can't really use him to further this research because he is a friend. Where, like, and the reason I say that is because I can get biases from friends. Whereas, like, if I'm legitimately, like, if
everybody.
Right, but like what I'm saying, like, if, like, you clearly saw, like, I sometimes fuck up my own wording. Like, that's just brain not being as capable as I want it to be sometimes. You know, so that's why I'm glad. That's why when I said you corrected me and I thanked you for it, it wasn't me saying that, oh, you said I was wrong. It was more of like, you're now helping me explain my point.
I get you, and that's cool. That's cool. That's what we're all here to do.
So,
I think.
Green, I do have a follow-up question for you, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
Green Soul, also, I don't know if you can see the live stream. I've asked you to change your icon. You haven't changed it, so now your icon on the stream is a rainbow-colored clown that says "triggered."
So,
really? That's funny.
Green, what brought you?
I'll throw you back. I'll throw you back.
What brought you to the Muslim religion?
Oh, what? It's a very long story. It is a long story. It's not as simple as just, you know.
Okay.
I was searching, you know. So like, I was dabbling into a lot of things.
Was there a certain thing that brought you to this search, or was it
actually I saw these guys kind of whirling, and I said, you know what the fuck is that? What are they doing? And I just got really into it, and I haven't kind of left it after that, because I was searching for something. I was doing yoga. I was doing something, and I think, you know, going into the Mevlevi order and just look, their whole outlook on life was very similar what I was feeling, and it just kind of connected with me. It was very emotional.
Yeah, no, I respect that.
It was a very emotional thing. It was not something based on rational logic, because I delved into that realm of existence and non-existence and philosophy. I was a big Nietzscheite. I'm still am in a lot of ways, you know, with existentialism, Sartre and things like this. So I read guys like that, but I just needed something a little bit more for me. And I'm very artistic in some, not autistic, but artistic. Like,
I got you.
Ginger, you're 22, 23?
24.
Or damn it. There you go. One in the chat asked.
Yeah, you're pretty young, man. You got
well, like, so
got a long way to go.
I agree with you. Like, the thing is, So if MathPig, I don't want to keep taking over your show, and I apologize, but if I
Man,
could throw
this
another
is
question
totally
to the panel.
fine. No. Literally, the reason I asked you to repeat the question is because I hit record, and you can upload this tomorrow to your channel. This is your screen
Appreciate
right
it.
now. Do what you want.
So I have a question for the panel as well. Like, if you guys, and if the chat answers it, that'd be cool too. Do you guys think, is it possible that there are things in our world that we can't really explain with logic? Do you think that's possible or no?
I am open to the possibility of it due and logic in the middle of my original name that I've experienced. I can't yet.
Okay.
There's some things that I've experienced that would be on the fringe, you know, of this, that, and the other, and I can't explain them through a scientific method because it's non-repeatable. It's a personal experience. But I don't necessarily say that that's a supernatural event. But the possibility of it and this, that, and the other is there. Hence my agnostic term.
What about you, Samus?
Competition?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little mixed on this. I think that ultimately everything is going to devolve to some kind of pattern. And if it is some kind of pattern, then there will be some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? There will be some way of determining the outcome. Yeah, repeatability, or there'll be some way to determine what what it means, so to speak, or at least give it some kind of generalized form, shall we say? And in which case you may call that logic, but you may not, right? And my heart goes with no. There are going to be some things that we're just not going to be able to know are logical.
So
right?
Can I ask you?
Hang on.
Sorry.
There are going to be some things that we know that we're not going to be able to know are logical or illogical. We're just not going to know what they are, and as such, it's impossible to answer a question such as is everything logical, right?
Well,
and
like
then the second part is just to finish.
No, you're good.
The second part is that as an artist, I'm kind of into absurdism. And I like the idea of ideas that clash logically going together.
Like, because a good example, and I'm sorry, I'll let everybody else answer. The reason, like, a good example of what I mean by this is, like, you know, like I said on my mom's anniversary, like, I don't know that it was a dream. It could have been, or it could have been me awake. I can't tell you this, but I had a full fucking conversation with my mom. It was just me and her, you know, and I can't explain that, nor can I, in my own right, logically say anything about it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'm asking, like, when I say, is there things that you can't logically explain? I don't mean, like, breaking it down with science. I mean, like, personally, like, you yourself cannot fucking explain this because you don't understand it. Like, MathPig kind of got where I was going with this. You did too. But that's more what I meant. Like, I'm not saying, like, you could break it down through a fucking scientific method. I'm talking about, like, have you ever experienced something that, to this day, if you tell somebody, you still can't explain what the fuck happened?
My mother had a near-death experience, and that confirms her.
Yeah, no, I personally, I've had experiences for which I can't explain, but I don't write them off. That therefore is illogical.
Right. If everyone else is free to answer too, because like I said, I want to get.
I'm kind of like an artist, right? I create things sometimes, and where those creations come from, sometimes I know, sometimes I don't, and that's how that goes. And if I don't know, how can I ever say that it's logical or that it's illogical?
If it's not from you, it's from the LSD.
Yeah. But I love absurdism, right? So I like connections which seem very lateral or very unsequential.
Right.
And that seems to rub against logic, right? It may not be rubbing against logic. It just seems to, right?
I'll take it.
So,
no. Theo put a challenge in the live chat, and he was like, checking if I can roll faster. Done.
Yeah, well, I can't see the live chat, can I? Put the live chat. Stop doing that. Put the live chat in the comments, so you can see it on StreamYard.
By the way,
Every single time you join my hangouts. And then I will put the stream where everyone can see just the chat, and you'll complain that you can't see anyone else. We've been through this. We lost Green Soul. You scared the fez off.
No Green Souls.
What do you call that guy, Samos? You're of the right age. Tommy. Died on stage.
Green
Everybody.
Soul. It's Green Soul. It's Green Soul. I don't know whether he wants his real name out there, so it's
No, Green Soul. The comedian from the 80s. Wild.
Oh, right.
Tommy Cooper. Tommy Cooper.
Tommy Cooper. Yeah,
Yes, that's why I made
With
the
fez,
joke
yeah.
that his head was very small,
Oh, I
because
see,
relative to the Tommy Cooper fez. If he fitted in Tommy's Cooper fez the way he fitted in his own, very small.
Right, to go back to Ginger's question.
Green
You
Soul.
can call me Q.
If something isn't logical, it cannot exist.
Come back, Green Soul.
I think he said his connection was bad.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
But Wildheart, let me ask you a question. So there's never been anything in your life that has happened to you that you yourself cannot explain?
No. But the fact that I can't explain it doesn't mean that it's illogical. If it doesn't follow the three laws of logic,
It means
then
supernatural.
If it doesn't follow the three laws of logic, then it doesn't exist. It can't.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Has anybody in the chat answered any of the questions, MathPig, or no?
No, we're talking about who's faster at rolling joints.
Fair enough.
Theo said, "Why does stuff exist?" It seems. But Raw in the chat, which is good. Everybody give a shout out to Raw. Raw's been in hospital lately. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey, Raw.
Raw had a stroke, and watching Raw the morning after he had his stroke, the comedy he was coming out with, when that man gets healthy, he's going to be on the stage doing like fucking stand up and shit. Like for a man who was in that stage and making, I don't want to be derogatory, but you did it yourself, Raw. Raw was like, I can't fucking even sup a straw. It's like my lips forgot. The man was fucking hilarious on stream for someone who had just had a stroke. So send your love to Raw.
Quick recovery, yeah. I hope you have a quick recovery, bro.
Definitely. Man's fucking brilliant. But Iron Chariot here. Not everything. Oh, no. Hold on. We've got Iron Chariot here making a claim that not everything in this world can be explained with Why is my icon up? Can be explained with logic and critical thinking.
Okay. That actually is a fair point.
If I can just finish it up, because of the freak out with the icon that popped up randomly. Could you give me an example, Aaron? Are you going to say personal testimony?
Well, I would not just answer what Theo said then. If he said something about stuff, what did he say about stuff?
Why does stuff exist? Question mark. Space. Seems absurd.
Yeah, seems absurd. No, it would be absurd if something other than space or other than space and things existed. Right, to say nothing existed, that would be absurd.
Do you know
to say
Theo?
things exist, to say things exist, that's not absurd.
No Theo.
No.
Theo is an edgelord.
Yes.
Okay.
Give you context.
But I do want to thank you, MathPig, for letting me ask all these questions, man. It's been
Okay, just as you
really
say that, I just stopped hitting record. Right, there you go. You have a 30-minute video. I'll upload it unlisted, and you can have a connection there. But you get to ask people questions and stuff.
Yeah, no, like
Aaron Chariot
really
here
do.
says I misread his question. Hold on till we go back here, right? Literally it says, not everything in this world can be explained with logic. And then there's another comment that says, and critical.
If it can't be explained with logic, it cannot. It's either logical. If it's not logical, it doesn't exist.
Oh.
Let me throw one. Let me throw.
Oh, Jeff's back.
Hey, Jeff. Now he'll be able to answer this question much better. Than
How was
the
your
rest of us.
snooze? How was your snooze, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
Are you beating your meat over there, bro? What's going on?
Ah, he must have rolled over on the keyboard and automatically rejoined. Are you still there?
Rip.
Uh,
I have a bottle of cognac if you answer.
Are we
he's
going?
making more sense than the rest of us right now.
Okay, are we going with the rolled over on the keyboard theory? Just to clarify.
Yeah. Well, if he's not saying anything,
Yes.
I mean, he's not making any noise, so you can leave him like that for a moment.
Simus will give you his unicorn horn if you answer.
I want the gold.
I don't know about that.
No, but what I was saying was I really do appreciate letting me ask all these questions because, like, I've been wanting to do this for like a minute and I just haven't had to.
Got some good answers, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I really did. Like, I think the main reason why I do this kind of shit on a regular basis is because I'm more afraid that I'm not gonna be taken seriously. But I know, like, with MathPig's channel, like, he won't dismiss somebody just because they're not the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, no one should be dismissed just because they're not the smartest person in the room. Otherwise, we're all getting dismissed. Right, Wild Art?
Yeah.
Especially if Jesus exists, because he's fucking smarter than a lot of us.
No.
Okay. Iron Chart here. I'm not taking responsibility for this. I think you missed it. Iron Chart here has now sent another message that says, MathPig, no! Everything in this world can be explained with logic.
Right, I don't think so.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's all went Pete Tong, and only the British people will
I
get
only
that.
say that, I mean, you know, logic and real thinking.
God
I
damn
mean,
it.
everything that exists
Can I
in the
get
world...
a fucking word in?
Can you get a fucking?
Pardon, this is the first thing I've heard you try and
Can
say.
I get a fucking word in? I've been
don't know.
sitting here for 30 minutes.
What, have you been trying to talk?
Yeah. I've been
never
waiting
heard
for
you.
a pause.
Oh, there's no pause.
But there's been no pause.
There is no pause.
You're talking. There's an Englishman and someone from Northern Ireland here. You know.
MathPig
And a ginger.
MathPig made me full screen.
Go ahead, Clockwork. Everybody mute.
Can I get a
Clockwork.
word in?
Clockwork, the
I don't know.
floor
Can you get a word?
is yours.
Seems like you just did.
I can't. If you'll shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Okay.
1 year on Halloween, I was at my grandmother's old house, and I saw her ghost. Explain that with logic.
And I've had
you
similar
had-
experiences.
You had a hallucination. So,
Sure, I would, man, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high.
doesn't matter.
She walked through the hall,
Doesn't matter.
walked through the living room,
Doesn't
walked
matter.
into the kitchen.
Doesn't matter. You can still have an hallucination even when you're not drunk or high. Hallucinations happen.
Fuck.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
fuck. Oh.
If that's how you want to explain it away.
Does that not explain it logically? Does that not explain it logically? You had a hallucination.
Yeah, but you don't have any
Huh?
proof that was a hallucination there, Wildheart.
I
This
don't
is
have
Green
any-
Soul's fault, just to point out, because I put the fucking link in the chat for Green Soul. This is just...
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean,
I
no,
just
but
want to
it's
say,
nothing-
I love Altangelo. I'm a big fan. I've been watching you since, well, just
Oh,
after
God,
from
babe.
the New Covenant group. So
Second
I
favorite
mean,
crazy Christian, you know?
just want to add that in there.
MathPig, this would kind of give me a chance to try out what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, before the incident, he was my second
But-
favorite.
I want to know what Rex's point was.
Rex, go on.
Can we explain? This is an example of something that we can't explain with logic. Is that right?
Yeah.
Explain it with logic.
Well,
Oh, it
well,
was a
how-
hallucination.
Yeah.
It was all in my head.
Right. Do you think that's a logical explanation?
No,
Why not?
because my mom saw my grandmother too dancing out in the yard in a white dress.
And that was
Was
the
it-
same thing you saw at the same time, was it?
We both had
Yeah.
hallucination.
Sorry.
Did you see that hallucination at the same time, Rex?
No,
No.
So she
Okay.
had an hallucination and you had an hallucination. Logically, it's solved.
Can I add to this then to give Rex's statement a wee bit of veracity, strength? I don't know, something, right? Not a personal experience of my own, but my mother, I've explained. My mother wouldn't say witch, but in tune with nature and all that sort of shit and the spiritual side and stuff and all. And when they were growing up, my mother has said that she was asleep at this stage, and she has said that when she woke up to her brothers and sisters shaking her because they had seen a banshee at the bottom of the bed. Back in the 70s, they all sleep in one big fuck off, old-fashioned wireframe bed. And they had witnessed a banshee at the bottom of the bed, and then my mother told me this story. Now, I was close to my Uncle George, which was her direct brother, and I asked him, and he said that he witnessed it and that it happened, and I thought he was full of fucking shit. And I don't get on, and none of the family gets on with Auntie Dorothy, but we were at a fucking funeral or a wedding or some shit, and I asked her this, and she remembered it as well. Now, there may have been 6 months to a year between asking George and asking Dorothy. I seen George quite regularly, so 6 months to a year would not be out of the range. I can't remember directly if they had the exact same story, but asking, did they see a banshee at the bottom of the bed, brushing her hair with my mother's hairbrush, and then shaking her to wake her up? My mother said she experienced the waking up. My Uncle George said that he seen it, and my Auntie Dorothy said. 5 kids in total, I think. I haven't had an opportunity to ask the other 2. I sound mad, but at least me and Rex got a little bit closer.
No, fair enough.
But there's a lot of stories from my mother's side of the family. My Uncle George will swear he seen a guy with a black suit wearing a black bowler hat knock his grandfather's door on his way home from school. Seen him on the bus, and when he went round to his grandfather's later that night, he asked his grandfather. His grandfather said no, nobody was here. And when they woke up the next morning, his grandfather had died. Uncle George will swear he seen the Grim Reaper.
Yo, can I actually give a personal one myself?
So, we'll just to say, did we lose the pooping unicorn?
The pooping unicorn.
Oh, you roboted out. Yeah.
Alright, can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
yeah.
This was the day that my mom passed away, right? I had no idea that my mom had passed. Nobody had told me, and I was at work. And just to let everyone know, when I usually go to work, I turn my phone off. I only turn it on during break. So I was actually coming back from lunch, and I was heading back to my station. And before I got there, my mom kind of just like appeared in front of me, didn't say anything, waved goodbye, and then when I blinked, she was gone. And then about a minute after that, I got a call from my dad saying, "Hey, by the way, your mom passed away." So that's something I can't explain.
But what? I'm sorry about that. But why does hallucination not explain that? He was asking for a logical hallucination would logically solve that problem. It might be coincidental. You might not be able to explain the coincidence, but hallucination would solve that problem. It's not illogical.
Everything isn't a hallucination, Wildheart.
How can you demonstrate that? Why could it not be a
hallucination?
hallucination?
No, don't, you can't make a vague statement. You can't counteract what he said. You're shifting the burden of truth, and you're actually making a statement that everything is delusional, and that's a meme.
Not everything. I'm saying, why could that each specific thing not be a hallucination? That's a question. Why could it not be a hallucination? Give me a reason why it couldn't be a hallucination.
I actually agree with Wildheart. If God doesn't exist, then everything is possible, inclusive that a 15-year-old in a parallel universe is just playing a game.
Hold on. Right, I've just posted in the private chat, if anyone can see that. I do have work tomorrow. It's 1:45 in the morning. I have another fucking. I lifted 2.5 fucking ton of steel today, and I have another fucking 2 ton of steel to lift tomorrow. So about 10-15 minutes. Maybe fuck that shit. Wild Heart. How long does it take you to start an after party?
I'll go and do that.
Right, you go and hold on. Come back and fucking post the link in here. Don't leave or whatever, right? Because it is getting late here. But we'll just move over there, and Wild Heart can hold 10 people. And if Jeff ever wakes up from snoozing, he can go across there too. So getting late over in the UK gives us a chance.
So a couple of things, which is to say, I don't know what that is. I don't know. I can explain it. So it's up to you to find whether or it's up to you to describe it how you like, and whether that has a logical explanation or not. I don't know. Right? All I know from my perspective is I have no reason to believe that is true, because it's personal testimony and you have no demonstrable evidence to show me that it is true. But does that mean I think it is false? No. I've got no reason to doubt you as a person, Clockwork Rex. I've seen you around for many years. We've had interactions before. And, you know, so it's not up to me to give you a logical reason why that isn't true or is true. Okay, and that's basically where I come down to with that. Same with you, Ginger. I have no idea whether your experience is genuine. I believe you believe it's genuine, and that's enough, right? That's enough. But I don't think those things can happen. Okay, and I have no personal experience myself of being involved in those kind of things, which I didn't think were hallucinatory. I had some experiences of those types of things when my mother died, but I recognized that I was in a very grief-stricken state, and therefore it's likely that the things that I was experiencing were me catching myself and my thoughts rather than actual existent things that were happening, and that's my personal experience. So I don't expect you to believe that that's necessarily true. Does that make sense?
I respect that answer, and I appreciate it.
That's fair enough.
Okay. Are we all happy with that? As I say, it's getting late. Wildheart has now posted the stream links chat. Somebody's clicking, so I think it would be good for someone to refresh anyway. But
I think it might be you, actually.
Yeah, my computer's been fucking up all night. I need to restart, and then I'm going to join that link. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. It's been a fun night. It's been a fun after party. Ginger, Simos, Ontangelo, Wildheart, and oh no, it's not me. It's Ginger.
Oh, my bad.
Ginger, Simos, Ontangelo, Wild, Clockwork, Marty, Fabio, everybody that joined the after party. And a thank you to UC and Simos. Thank you very much for having the debate here tonight.
Very welcome.
Can I say one more thing before you end it?
Oh, really quickly, man.
Everybody help me get hashtag MathKini 2. I need this. Please.
It'd be MathKini 3.
You got no chance.
Alright, MathKini 3.
Yeah, not gonna work. Right, click the StreamYard link in the private chat. Move over to Wild Hearts. I'm gonna fucking end it here. Wild Heart, can you please in the private chat before we end post
Get the YouTube link.
All right, Rishi.
See, Peter. Yeah, I can. And I wasn't calling anyone wrong. I was just saying they were asking for a logical solution, and they were saying there wasn't one. I'm saying that is, even if it's wrong, it was a logical solution. But I'm just getting the.
Oh, I need to sort your YouTube channel. You haven't fucking. Oh no, I've lost. No, you're gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. I can't find it because you don't have a section. You don't have a section for next upcoming live video. And you're not. No, it's gone. I can't. You need to go live for me to find it. I can't find it.
Right.
So post it.
Go live. I'll do that.
Oh no, you've posted it in the private chat.
Okay, see you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Right, there's the link. It's in the live chat for everybody. Everybody move over there. All 15 people move over there. And with that, Jefferson, wake the fuck up. Snoring in the background.
Thanks, Iron Charity. appreciate
Thanks.
your comments as well. Thank
Everybody for coming. Yeah, Iron Charioteer here. Good questions. Good questions. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you over in Wild Hearts. And if I can find the right. Thanks everybody. Night night.
Penis.
Bye. Penis. Oh, think for yourself. Think for yourself too.